discussion-wise more interesting, I guess.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Team Jacked podcast. I am your host, Raymond McNeil, and joining me, as always, is the wonderful Twilight Guardian.
Hello.
And as well, the pastoral Kaiser Shonen.
Are you calling me a farmer?
I think I'm calling you a particular shade of colors.
What the fuck? Look it
up. But also joining us once more is I Know Nothing, who when he heard that we were covering this, he jumped on that ball.
Indeed, yes.
Or should I say he jumped on that grenade because
yeah, for real.
Oh yeah, I should mention I already have it loaded up in the watch together in the links, so just be sure you guys get in there. I'd see.
I'm already there.
And we already have a bit to cover because we've already got a teddy bear paladin, bedroom party, a doll and her lady part 1. So we're learning about the dolls now. Funko Bear, brother, you have said how ED came to be with us. You never said how ED came to be with us. ED, please, young squire, do not address me with such a crude nickname. Action girl figure. Sorry, that Lady Snoot McFancy is a mouthful. So that's fun.
Don't worry, gentlemen. I have ED with me.
I bring everyone the gift of ED. You get ED, and you get ED. Everyone gets ED. Robert Glendinning says it gives us 10 memberships. Congratulations to everyone that got caught in that. Starting out strong here. Welcome to the crew, everyone there.
Heck yeah.
And Periodic Pete says, Synthetic Man, Movie Bob, Lily, and now P. Willems. You guys are covering some of the quintessential classic bad essays. Who's next? My vote is on extra credits. We do have extra credits in the tank.
We do have that on the list. Yeah,
unfortunately. Also, whatever Ant's new video is, we've got on there as well.
Yeah, because some people have definitely requested that one. You know, but this one has been sort of a rite of passage for almost. It's sort of become like a rite of passage for anyone who's become a critic online these days.
What's ED for the ladies? It's clamsham. I completely made that up. That is not what it is equivalently.
This is a movie about space wizards intended for children. I am going to take the controversial opinion and say I kind of feel bad for him saying that because I know exactly what happened to him later once Rise of Skywalker came out.
The minute that happened, he made that whole video on it, and like everyone was like, "Why are you so mad over it, bro?" It's just
it's a movie about space wizards.
He got so salty over that being thrown in his face. I don't know if he ever realized that would happen.
It's why I feel bad for him. It's like, you know when you watch someone like step on a rake hard enough to leave a dent? You kind of feel bad at that point.
It's a shame there was already a dent there to begin with.
I mean, pretty much.
Tonight on Team Jacked, I Know Nothing dives on a grenade. Kaiser's corrupted by the new Windows update. Celtic tunes up the ship, and Twilight takes her Digimon for a walk.
Exactly what I would be doing.
That actually sounds adorable. And inevitably we're going to be asked this like 3 or 4 times, but I believe it is Plesiamon on her head today.
Yes, it is. It is one of my many of the favorites of the old Digimon, the original Digimon.
Wait, fun fact, Ant mentioned in his discussion with Manga Common that he felt this video wasn't very good. Interesting, considering I know he holds Patrick Willems in pretty high esteem.
Okay.
At least I don't take my word on it. I just remember that being the case, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. Which is a shame that he... Like, this is my introduction to this guy, so, like, I don't hold this man to any high regard whatsoever. Because the first video that I ever watched of his was shit.
Yeah, like I guess maybe, maybe, you know, of course his Last Jedi video is bad and this one's bad, but maybe his other videos are great, you know, maybe.
I kind of put him in the same area as Chris Stuckman, honestly.
Oh my god!
They're
what
different.
A fucking coward.
I was gonna say they're different spheres, but they're like in the same peer group, if that makes any sense. Where this guy is more like hyper defensive of everything Hollywood, and then you have Chris Stuckman, who is just afraid of saying anything critical. It's like the difference between a defender and a silent voice. Not to be confused with A Silent Voice, which is a fantastic movie, and you should all go watch it and read the manga.
You should.
You should. I fucking love that movie so goddamn much. It is a precious thing.
The manga is just, I love the manga to death. I was so happy that when I heard was it Kyoto Studios that did it? When I heard it was Kyoto, I was like, yes! Yes! So best in the business, getting the best in the business. It's like a match made in heaven for me. And it came out so good. Oh, that film.
It did.
I haven't seen it yet.
It was very good.
I fucking, I mostly watched the dub of the movie. I still got the joke though when she tried to confess because we were learning Japanese.
Yes, I'm the only one who hasn't seen the movie yet.
Oh, dude! Oh, you
really?
love it.
Well, so Kaiser,
you will love it.
Okay, do you like crying?
I mean, I don't cry very often, but I watch stuff that would typically make people cry. Yeah.
Oh, I could probably.
Then you'll like it.
You'll like it.
I need to send this to Twi. I think she'll enjoy it.
People being like, I used to like Stuckman, or I find Stuckman worse. Stuckman is a charisma void. I mean, these are all true statements. It's really a shame because, Chris Stuckman tries to be he is the epitome of the person that tries to be the come on, let's all get along kind of person, and it ends up backfiring horribly.
Because the guy doesn't pick his battles. That's the problem.
He comes off, he runs from every single battle there is.
Well, that too, yeah.
I always saw him as sort of like the movie reviewer that you would put on like a newspaper, like the paragraph that barely gives you any information.
The AstroTurf guy.
I feel like that's a disservice to the newspaper reviewers.
Probably yes, but I'm just giving an example.
I will say I also was a longtime fan of Chris Stuckman. I was there for a lot of his early stuff.
He was good. He actually had a soul back in the day, and then he started there's a very noticeable shift as he starts to go into producing his own films, and he starts to fear criticism of his own work, and he starts to self-censor in order to not hurt anyone's fifis, and it's like, so what's the point of you at this point? You're not really giving us your unfettered opinion. You're just giving us this. Honestly, the thing you give us is the Wikipedia summary of the production assets. That's all you really
pretty
do at
much.
This point.
Oh, Pete actually says this really well. I can somewhat understand his hesitance, given he tries to be part of the industry, and that doesn't go well for critics of the industry. But then, why is he still a critic?
So the thing about that, Pete, is that I watched his video, the big one that really started the controversy on Twitter, at least. For Madam Web, where he basically just said, "Oh, this person who was an executive producer on the movie, she totally wasn't able to do anything in her vision. It's all the studio's fault." Just blanket blaming the studio does not exactly give you a lot of leeway, I feel.
Yeah, that was fucking stupid.
I'm saying here, and everyone in the field is like, have you ever fucking seen a Zack Snyder film? Have you seen Rebel Moon? All right, that had zero fucking oversight. That man made the movie he wanted to make, and that's what came out. I'm sorry, creatives are not always the best for the job.
Yeah, sorry, I was checking on my suit, my emotional support suit.
Your emotional support suit. I was going to comment of this is why I sing the praise of editors, because you need someone eventually to say, okay, so this is a great idea. It doesn't work. Let's rewrite it.
Yep.
That sort of thing. But
pretty much.
I've gotten a suggestion like that on my novel, and my editor has always said you don't have to take my advice. You can ignore anything that I say. And I think that I will ignore her on the suggestion of taking out this scene, mostly because she thought that it was icky. And it's like, oh, yeah, they're Fae. Of course it's gonna be kind of icky. Fae are kind of creepy and weird.
A reminder that
isn't Twilight your editor or something? No. She and many of the other people on the podcast that have visited, they're beta readers. There's a difference. I have an editor I actually fully pay, and that's a completely different ballgame.
Same.
Well, like, I've offered to do like basic editing stuff in the beta reading because that's kind of just how I work, but I'm not his full beta reader or anything like that.
Twice the person that goes, Birdie, no!
Yeah, when I was beta reading the first chapter of The Artificer for him, I went on like a little miniature rant because a character was just eating some berries he didn't know was poison or edible, and I was just like, no, you don't do that. This is what you do if you check for food that you don't know is edible or not.
The great part about that is like, well, then I don't need to change it. He's not that. He doesn't know that. He's an idiot.
It's a less crazy version of like Christopher Lee saying, "Do you know how what someone sounds when they're stabbed in the back? I do."
All right. Well,
craziest flex of all time.
Instead of shitty on Chris Stuckman, which I don't know, we somehow got on that, and instead of going off on like editors and such, let us actually talk about the topic of this video, which is the nature of plot holes, which we are being emphatically told by the title to shut up about. We are now going to spend several hours talking about them. So,
But our thoughts probably go in summary. How about no?
Well, that's the appropriate response to it. To the proclamation here, but I want to just kind of get sort of a ballpark on what a plot hole is here in our little circle. Like, I imagine, like a lot of different writing terms and concepts, everyone has a slightly different idea of what it is, but I kind of want to reach at least some level of consensus here and try and figure out what we all kind of agree is a plot hole.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So I guess the way that I would typically approach a plot hole is a dropped plot point or element of the story that isn't relevant, isn't ever addressed again, but then becomes vitally relevant later in the story, and with no explanation as to how it got to that point. Now, the reason why I'm being very like there's a lot of different things that people call plot holes, but like I think part of the reason it inspired this video, people are very loose with the term, as opposed to what people would call a plot hole, which can be a contradiction, which is not a plot hole. It's a contradiction. It's a difference. It is
that's a different.
It is a flat. You establish something, and then later you completely contradict it in the story. So you say this gun has unlimited ammo, and then later in the story, the guy runs out of bullets. It's like, I'm out of bullets. It's like, and there's no explanation as to why that happened. That's a contradiction.
And contradictions, by the way, there's still an issue in the story. You should avoid those as best you can. But
that's a different problem.
Yeah.
They are adjacent things in that they are both severe problems in the story that will hamper the audience's enjoyment of your work. But just because they are very similar things does not mean that one is the other.
Yes.
Yeah. What I would say would probably be, I guess, the definition that I tend to go with, which tends to be a little bit broad, is that it kind of goes in line a little bit with what you said, Raymond, but broadly speaking, is that there is a hole within, two sequencing events within the story. And with that hole being there, it kind of lessens the narrative strength of whatever plot line that's relating to. And the big important thing is that some plot holes are itty bitty small, and some are the others are, the size of Mount Everest or the Grand Canyon or whatever. And yeah, there are people that can be very, overzealous when pointing out plot holes and stuff, and that's always annoying. But you know what the solution is? well, the solution is to be very specific about what you're talking about and outline what is an important plot hole and what isn't, and don't just say, "Oh, they're all okay, so why should we talk about them?"
I have examples for both.
Actually, I just
go
thought
ahead.
of an excellent example off the top of my head. Emperor's New Groove makes
Yes.
fun of this. It has an excellent plot hole joke where Yzma and Kronk go falling off a cliff, and you have Kuzco and what's his face, Pacha. They make it to the lab, and they're doing all this stuff, and then it's like, oh, it's been Yzma made it to the lab before them and took the potion that they need, and it's like,
Yeah.
wait, how did you get here? And Yzma's like, Kronk, how did we get here? He pulls out a chart and it just shows like, by all accounts, it doesn't make any sense. And it's just like,
Yeah.
it's hilarious. It's a great
Yeah,
joke.
it's iconic because like it works within the context of the movie. It's a joke.
More than that, it's
Yeah.
carried by the charisma of both the story and the characters.
Yeah.
But
And
basically, there's a lot of
Will-
films that have those moments happen, but they don't have the charisma or the,
But
the
it's
comedy
full
or
serious.
whatever. It's fully
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah. I will say on that though, that like to expand on that, just because you lampshade it, just because you acknowledge it, doesn't mean that makes it okay. Because
yeah.
that
That
might
too,
even
yes.
backfire on you and make the audience even more annoyed at you, because it's like, oh, so you know, and you made
Yeah.
the conscious effort to not fix it.
Yeah.
And
But you
instead
see,
you made
Twilight-
a shitty ass joke.
But you see, Twilight, I was only pretending to be Maverick, so you can't.
Is that how you get around the censors and use the R word? You
Oh,
call them all
honestly,
Mavericks
you
instead?
you didn't know? That's
I
what I've
didn't-
been doing this whole time.
I never realized it. It's only now in this context that I realize, oh, you've been using that as a substitute for the R word.
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh.
Everybody in chat, go back to when Kaiser calls someone Maverick. You'll have interesting new possibilities. I'm positive.
I thought I made that extremely obvious thus far, but you know what? I guess we can call that a plot hole.
The thing is, you've been you use it all the time, like, so I was just so used to you just using it as like an offhand. I thought it was just some kind of like weird placeholder, like the word frack from from Battlestar Galactica. But no, he actually does have a direct substitute. Damn. Rand failed his intelligence check. This would be a wisdom check. This is perceptiveness and
Yes.
being able to digest the information. Intelligence, book smarts.
He failed insight. Okay.
I think the reason why it works in New Groove is because the reason why Yzma and Kronk failed to catch up with them in the first place was itself a joke. I mean, it's because
Yes.
the entire story is itself just long, protracted jokes. It is a comedy, and it's a comedy in a very funny, kind of not so serious world, and it has a lot of heart to it, but at the end of the day, it has this kind of like narrative stretchiness. There's a narrative elasticity. That's actually a great term for it. Narrative elasticity that lets it all snap back
Narrative
into place.
gum.
They have a scene where the main character fourth wall breaks and calls himself pathetic, and then makes a joke about the entire depressing scene.
Yes.
Yep.
So it's like consistent with everything else you know about the story, so it's fine. An example of like a big plot hole that is just really, really bad. That I thought about this off the top of my head. This is my first example. Gundam Seed. The first
yeah.
Jesus Yamato moment. Y'all motherfuckers know exactly what I'm talking about.
Considering
The
how long
main
it's been, I don't.
Oh, boy.
Okay, the main character. Remember that fight the first fight between him and Atherin that resulted in his Gundam being destroyed?
Uh-huh.
And he was in the center of that explosion, and somehow, some way, he survived.
Somehow.
And not
Hero
only that,
returned.
he did it.
And also,
Not only that, somehow he did it twice, didn't he?
Yes!
yes, he did it twice.
Okay, so you're
so-
telling me that
wait.
he is Palpatine.
And
Yeah.
to add on
Wait,
to
no,
this,
he did it
actually,
3 times. My bad. He
He
did it
won
3
up
times. 3
Palpatine.
times.
Oh shit.
Yeah, why you
I knew
think?
that.
Why you think they call him Jesus Yamato?
yeah. But actually, no. There's things to like in Gundam Seed, Dan Guy. But moving on to the
Sure.
actual thing for plot holes, to keep the conversation rolling. My definition is, I suppose, twofold, where it's a Actually, it might be broadly the one definition. It's effectively where the logic for like A to B doesn't exist. So like you just skip an explanation, you skip a reasoning, you skip everything else to just allow the story to take place.
Well, the story goes from A to C, and it just skips the B.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The whole is where B is supposed to be, and
Yeah.
I didn't mean to say that, but there's several plot holes actually that I will point out just to keep the conversation going that people are 100% fine with. There's an example of a very famous one actually, and it's Terminator 1 and 2.
Oh, okay, we're going here.
Yeah.
Is it going to involve the time travel?
Sort of, yes.
I'm scared. Okay. Right. I'm scared for you guys, for the record, because this is.
So the general idea for the like timeline for Terminator in the first movie is that it's a perfect loop. Kyle Rayner is Kyle Reese. Kyle Rayner, what the heck? Kyle Reese is John Connor's father because John Connor sent Kyle Reese back to protect his mother from the Terminator that they sent back. However, we learn in the second movie that not only was Skynet able to send a different Terminator, they were able to send a more advanced Terminator, which begs the simple question of why didn't they send, if they could send both back, why didn't they send the T-1000 in place of the T-800 in the original Terminator? Kyle Reese would have no chance.
Yeah, it's a lot of baked questions.
It's baked questions like that you can say, oh, that's like, say, a plot hole, that's a gap in logic and everything. Everyone is okay with it.
Yeah, sure.
Izanagi says, to throw my 2 cents in, I feel a plot hole is a failure of logic either within a world of the film or externally. Sometimes they can be small, sometimes they are large. And he also says, where's his other one? It was in here somewhere. I think the issue here is Patrick is way too overly obsessed with the people nitpicking small plot holes and not people with legit issues. We'll get to... Maybe we'll refrain from making commentary on Patrick yet, because we're trying to establish our baseline here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Also, like, the thing about the, like, plot holes like that and nitpicks like that is everybody has a sort of threshold that they will meet, and that threshold will raise or lower depending on the quality of the rest of the film. So if the quality of the film overall, like the characters, the acting, the camera, the plot, if all of that is bad, your threshold for tolerating stuff like plot holes is going to be underneath the floorboards.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a stamina bar in a video game.
Yeah, if everything else is good or at least passable, then your threshold is going to be higher. Your tolerance for it is going to be higher. You're going to be willing to tolerate a little bit of scuff in order to enjoy the rest of the movie. But if everything is just needling you, then that could be the thing that just breaks
it could be a big thing, it could be small things, and you could also have death by 1,000 cuts. There's always that potentiality.
And there's always like the potentiality of the plot hole being so big that it just may not make the whole entire product bad, but it still like is a mark against it quality wise. Like, let's say hypothetically that Gundam Seed was good as a whole. You'll never hear me say that unironically, all right? But let's say that is the case. Though that Jesus Yamato moment is still banned. It still shouldn't have happened.
There's people are bringing up like you're saying, oh, I don't know much about Seed. I heard mixed things. I know 2 characters from Code Geass are allegedly based on Yamato and Locus. I will say this: Code Geass feels very much like the refined what Seed should have been in many different regards. Like it feels like a really good version of Seed.
I mean, it's definitely better.
But even that has some problems. There is a huge moment at the end of Gundam Seed's first season involving the mechanics of the Geass and how how careless some
You mean
characters.
Code Geass's first season? You said Gundam Seed's.
Sorry,
first
Code
season.
Geass. Code Geass's first season. How careless people are with certain things, and it's like I don't think that really happened. And it leads to some it's a huge moment of like.
Oh,
okay,
you're talking about Bloody Yuffie.
I'm trying not to be specific because Twy hasn't seen it yet.
Okay.
Sparty says Green Lantern boxing the T-1000. What are you playing? Like the DC Mortal Kombat crossover?
Heck yeah, man! I'll take that.
Dope. Yeah, that'd be dope.
We've already said the Digimon. It's I'm suddenly blanking on it. Twy, what's your Digimon again?
Plesiomon.
Plesiomon. Thank you.
Yes. Sorry, I was turning off my fan because I realized that I didn't turn it off, and that might have been the thing that was making Takara talk when I wasn't.
Kogia said nothing like the Arthrun Snoo Snoo flashbang in the film. I've never seen the film, so yeah, I'm good on that.
So
that's the first I heard that.
So Kujin, here's the thing that I have for you with the statement of like, oh, it's an advanced prototype. Time travel.
Yeah.
You have advanced time. If you can say that, then the question comes into, okay, why didn't the T-1000 help the T-800 in Terminator 1?
Mm-hmm.
Because they hadn't hired Robert Pattinson.
Yes,
Pattinson.
also. Oh. Yeah, I said Kyle Rayner, the Green Lantern, instead of Kyle Reese. That's what I was going for.
I liked Seed. Look, Cat without a hat. I enjoyed Seed as well, but it's not a good series.
Yeah, I think it's fucking terrible, and Destiny is just categorically worse.
I never set foot in Destiny.
Ow! Sorry.
Please, Yomon, don't hurt her.
No.
What the fuck? Did it bite you?
Attack of the Cat.
No, I placed the. I placed my soup on my foot and it hurt because it was hot.
Oh.
Oh no, the foot soup. No!
No! What the
Okay, so I have been watching a lot of Let's Game It Out recently, and and I love that series, but it's like whenever I binge that, because I'm go on binges of things that I like. Whenever I binge that, it warps my sense of reality. So I'm imagining like you just like dragging like in the way that video games do when you click and drag things. I'm just imagining this bowl of static soup just like clanking along the ground before it hits your foot, and it's just like your health goes down like 10 points.
No, it was just like I was trying to put it in front so that I could move things without potentially spilling it, and it just touched my foot. Just barely.
Pete, I feel like you and I would get along talking about time travel. I feel like that's like a whole, because that's a huge thing for me.
I'd love
time
to
travel.
be there.
Number 16, Canadian foot soup. Oh, hey, on topic.
God.
I'm at soup. What do you mean you're at soup?
You're at soup.
Why are you buying clothes? The soap store.
Fuck you.
The single greatest comedy bit for an abridged anime ever. I swear to God.
I still am so sad he imploded.
Yep.
Now I'm just remembering the little abridged thing that I sent Twy last night. Come on, cows, go on, and none of you worry about the fact that one of you's going off to the slaughterhouse tomorrow. Moo? Not you, Raoul. You're one of the good ones. Moo! Cowgirl, why are you lying to the cows again? Of course it's Raoul! Moo!
Oh my God, like...
I gotta watch Goblin Slayer Bridge again. I love that.
Yeah, I saw the newest episode. It's fantastic.
We just need Purple Eyes What the Fuck to get mad at another show, so he'll come back to make a new episode just to rant about it.
Yeah.
Hey, Kelt, I found a physical copy of Silent Hill 2 in EB Games I got for $69. Nice! I mean, actually, yes, that actually is really... First of all,
that is nice.
But also, damn, that's actually a really good price. Also, I'm sorry, EB Games still exists?
Yeah. Well,
I guess I shouldn't be surprised. GameStop is still around here somewhere.
Well, no, like that's the Canadian branch of what was GameStop. Like they had separated, and then they combined again, and EB Games got changed to GameStop, but now they sold it, and the owner changed the name back to EB Games because the branding for EB Games is better here in Canada than it is for GameStop.
Okay. New Teddy Bear Paladin. ED, your crude facsimile of a name, entertains gutter thugs, I'm sure. Action girl figure. I'm sure you're much too busy getting your hair done to get a joke. ED, those large twin tails of yours need care, no? Is this like the doll equivalent of like, man, you must put all your brains in your boobs or something like that? Like, is that what we're watching? Man, you have large twin tails. Nameless. I heard in universe the T-1000 is hard for Skynet to control, among other things, so unleashing it was its absolute last resort. That doesn't fix the problem of they could just aim it farther into the past. It's a whole conversation. Yeah. That's a... Yeah. I think, though, we have done a good job of establishing our thoughts on plot
where we are at in regards to that. Well, even though we have, like, different things, we broadly have a similar idea.
I think also for something like that, like if it's a very simple fix, like a very small and kind of insignificant fix, people are also more willing to just let it slide. Because like I can think, I have never watched the Terminator series. I will say that right now. But sure. I just from my limited knowledge of what goes on in that and the time travel stuff, I could say like, oh, maybe the technology wasn't there yet for such an advanced robot, so they had to send a lesser one to go search for them.
Mm-hmm. There's like probably dozens of to be fair, they've rebooted that franchise like 3 or 4 times at this rate.
Yeah, I can't really comment because there's so much contradictory information at this point. So
to be fair, there's only 2 movies you need to watch. Yes.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, based off of that information, I can understand why people would let that slide, because it's such a simple explanation that a lot of people may not even feel that it's necessary in order to, like, explain. Like, it doesn't need screen time to explain it. It's kind of intuitive. Sure. Whereas something like...
surviving a point-blank blast inside of a mech, that requires a little bit more.
That requires so much more explanation as to how that character survived, that you kind of need to show it, or else it's going to be a much more significant plot hole.
Twilight, why are you calling it a series? There are only 2 movies. Okay, let's be fair, all right? In retrospect, Terminator 3 is actually kind of quaint, all right?
It's all right.
Yeah, and then Terminator Salvation, I actually think it's fine. It's okay.
It suffers from bad guy throwing main character syndrome.
Yeah, but that's really, other than it being just not the most exciting film in the world, I thought it was fine. And it gave us that hilarious Christian Bale movie.
I was about to mention that.
Oh, good. Actually, given Christian Bale, I think that leads us right into the video, because I'm pretty sure
because
Patrick mentions Batman. Yeah,
that's
he mentions the Batman movie. Oh no,
he mentions The Dark Knight Rises.
Oh no,
I was actually going to mention that as my example, but I'm like, wait, well, we can just talk about that when we start the video. Yeah. So
all audio for this video recorded with the Sennheiser G4 wireless microphone system. Good to know.
Ooh,
good to know, I guess.
Fancy. Going bougie with this one. This is the bougiest way of being wrong.
We got to talk about that.
Okay.
Plot holes used to be this thing that only existed in super nerdy movie conversations. Like, hey...
No.
Fuck no, babe.
Immediately out the gate. No.
Do you see what I'm talking about? The swagger, as you're about to say the dumbest thing humanly possible, is insane.
Any idea how early it was that people asked, "Hey Tolkien, why didn't the Eagles just take Frodo to Mount Doom?"
Yeah, yo. And like, that actually has an explanation.
I mean,
like, here though, like, I know that like, yeah, it's early, but fantasy was still like incredibly niche back in the day. So you could make the argument like, yeah, nerd spaces, like Raymond just did. I was 12 years old when I watched Digimon Adventure 02, and I had problems with it as a 12-year-old because the plot holes and the inconsistencies and stuff were so egregious to me that I could not enjoy this weekly show that aired on YTV. I could not enjoy it because
Also, fuck Davis.
I could not follow the logic. Yeah, fuck Davis.
Izanagi says, all right off the bat, nope, I'm in pain. Yep.
Yeah,
but let's roll this back. Literature has been around for going on 200 years at this fucking point, maybe longer depending where you want to start pegging mass production of books and stories, and where they started getting. There are plot holes that were discussed in goddamn Shakespeare. I'm sorry, good sir.
My example to throw on this is just people literally invented new versions of King Arthur's lore to try and fix plot holes that came before.
Yes.
The legendary
then they did that for
fictions.
other things as well, like Norse mythology. Freaking.
Sorry.
You're right. The French are the ultimate plot hole.
Oh yeah.
You
100%.
can even go back to like the fucking Bible and all
I was
of the
about to
revisions
mention
that
the
got.
fucking Bible, dude.
Under this logic, technically, since we don't have the tablets since they've been destroyed, doesn't the Epic of Gilgamesh have several plot holes?
Mm-hmm.
That probably the is it the Maharagupta or the basically any religious text? Yeah, the any religious text. I'm not gonna ever pronounce that correctly. You go no. You go back to the oldest written things ever, and people will have been probably complaining about people probably around the fires when they were telling stories to each other back in caveman times. Ugh, why did Grug not go to tree to get fruit? He go hungry, why he no get fruit? And he has to be like, shut up, Grung! And he hits him over the head with a stick.
Or Grog is all like, how does Braum know the parts that Braum was not good there for?
That's my favorite line.
TFS joke, yeah.
Honestly.
That's one of my favorites too. But like, even then, like this occurs naturally in discussions about any entertainment because people are naturally curious. They want to see like the puzzles fit. The whole point of a story is to have establish a line of like consistent events. This leads to that. Right?
It's another.
So when something interferes with that and is taken out of it, people are gonna actually want to talk about that. That's natural.
We've encountered this before, but there's a weird like anti-recency bias that people suffer. Where they think just because the internet helped people communicate more efficiently and in a much larger number, that it couldn't have possibly happened before then. It wasn't like that we had, it wasn't like the Mary Sue got coined back in the goddamn 70s.
God, dude. Yeah, that whole bullshit, yeah.
So it's like, I hit Zog with Rock, then Grog became best storyteller. Yes, exactly.
Amazing.
But yeah, all of that, it just comes to the point of like, what did you think happened before we had the internet? People communicated, people still talked about this stuff. They just it wasn't as available as it is now. It's a different cultural paradigm in terms of its availability, but it's nowhere near new when it comes down to its actual substance. It's always been there.
Yes.
One of Tolkien's... Oh, you first.
So guys, the concept of the critic has existed since ancient Greece, at least.
Yeah, that seems
Behold, legit. A man. If you know, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
I look at him, look at Patrick Williams. Behold, a featherless chicken.
Like, guys, this is literally how the scientific method works. So if you're going to bitch and whine about people nitpicking your stuff, that just means that you're, like, going against the very human nature of what it is to be a person with a thinking brain.
Exactly my point, which is gonna be ironic when with what he says later on in this.
I
boy.
love we've made it 20 seconds in and we already
Of course.
all right.
Hey, how did Indiana Jones survive clinging to the outside of that submarine? But over the past 15 years, they've become pervasive, spreading through online movie conversations. Everywhere you turn, people are complaining about
Invincible.
Stop that.
Ugox, why not start with giant eagles? All seen Eye of Sauron. The only flew once that was down. That's why. Sorry, that nitpick always annoys me. No,
There are
several
around
different
it.
reasons around it.
I use it as an example of things that people complained about all the way back when like Lord of the Rings was first published and everything like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me, is he one of those people? You'll find out for yourself, dog.
Biggest
Need an
plot
official.
holes. Plot holes.
Plot holes.
All the plot holes.
Plot holes. Plot holes.
So full of plot holes.
Plot hole.
Naruto plot holes.
So many plot holes.
Plot holes. 10 movie plot holes.
Who are you people?
Also, top 5 Naruto plot holes. Holy crap, that guy must have done a lot of research because there's way more than 5.
That's a whole lot.
It's like
People
okay,
are still talking about that. Yeah.
yeah, I love it's like you're just throwing these up here. I hope you elaborate on what they're talking about and why they're wrong.
Yeah, like if someone is like complaining about a plot hole, hear them out. Like maybe they have a legit reason. Maybe it's like the giant eagle thing and there's an explanation for it. Maybe it's something actually reasonable of just like, oh, yeah, that is a hole.
Yeah.
And
A hole
it
is a
could
hole.
it could very well be that this person is illegitimate in their criticism of
Yeah.
like, well, why didn't this person do this? Why did they do that instead? It's like they literally just showed that he couldn't get the thing open, so he did the other thing instead. Were you not paying attention, or were you just scrolling on your phone?
I can't. Somebody gets that reference.
Yeah, but I would just say, Pete, no, I can. All plot holes are meaningless and invalid criticism, and you should feel bad for thinking otherwise. You're right, Pete. I will think bad.
Savages,
Actually, no,
burying you.
I'm gonna think fantastically of myself because I know I'm right on certain things.
Yeah. Pete got the reference, sweet.
Yes, I got it.
Back in
Cyberboy was
April,
so
when A
funny.
Quiet Place opened, my Twitter and Facebook feeds were filled with people complaining about all the plot holes. I saw one guy say he'd made a list of 41 plot holes in that movie. But here's the thing.
Okay.
Were they legitimate?
Well, let's let him speak on this a little bit because he's still setting up.
No
Fair
one
enough.
seems to actually know what a plot hole is. And all those plot holes people complain about, they don't actually matter. So,
Okay.
Tell us.
The Orange Man, good news. At Literature Devil lowered his goal to $500 to EFAB Ruby. You can join if you ask.
No
Fat
fucking
Woman 240.
way, yo.
Also, he's open to collaboration if you talk to him. Oh, damn.
Oh.
Holy shit.
Well,
that's
then,
insane.
Dude,
just
go
let,
for it, man.
let us know. Like, I mean, I guess I'll keep an eye on him when he covers Ruby. I'll be front row to get his thoughts
Yeah,
on
dog.
that.
Hell
It'd be
yeah, man.
great to get him on.
Yeah, but just those plot holes don't matter. That's a very huge context needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can
yeah.
imagine that if somebody came up with 40 different plot holes for the movie, I'd be like, okay, you might be stepping in a little bit of nitpick territory. But like, I would still want to divvy up between the ones that are worthy to complain about and the ones that are like, okay, does this really matter all that much?
I've never seen it personally, but I know quite a bit about it because of different people talking about it. And like one of the ones that comes up is, did you really, like, over the course of however many years the story takes place, you managed to make this much sand cover this much distance without making a single frickin' noise? And it's like, yeah, I mean, like, I think it's doable, but it's pushing the bounds of reasonability. And like, there's a lot of different smaller aspects that people ask questions about, like, why didn't you set up? For those of you who don't know, the entire premise of the movie is that the aliens invade, some monsters invade, they're super sound sensitive, so you have to stay super quiet. And, you know, the movie opens with a child getting killed because he's being an idiot and playing with a toy that lights up and makes sounds.
Why would his parents fucking allow him to carry that thing around?
That might be in the list.
Give him a teddy bear.
No, they
give him a dolly.
No, I remember they actually did set it up in that they took away the batteries from it so he could play with it safely. But he found another pack in the store they were pilfering, and he put them back in. Like he was going against their wishes there.
The one that I've always heard for A Quiet Place is why don't they live near the waterfall?
Yeah, frankly, I could actually say like there's probably a number of reasons why they don't. For one, like it would actually start damaging their hearing after a time, which is probably deadly in a post-apocalyptic survival situation.
No, hang on. I'm going to fight on that toy thing again.
Okay.
Because children,
I don't know too much about this, so I'm like I'm Iron Steel Man.
Neither do I, but I am going off of my in real life knowledge of how kids behave. And like literally 3 days ago, I was in a voice call with somebody who was going to Walmart with their brother's their friend's toddler or whatever, and the kid is just like taking their doll and just like smacking it on things and throwing it on the ground. You have a solid plastic object that bangs and rattles and makes noises at most of the things that the kid will probably do with it. Even if that kid is trying to be silent, that thing is going to make noise. Why would you allow that kid to have it?
I do not remember if maybe he wasn't allowed to have it. Maybe that was the plot point. I'm trying my best to remember. I don't. But that might be a fair critique of them as the parents, especially.
Yeah, that might be in this list or whatever, yeah.
To be fair to them, what's the meme? Well, messed up with the first one. The next few are going to be okay.
I was going to say, their other children, their other children ended up fine. But yeah, that was, like, there are legitimate complaints of, like, why are things done this way? And there's a lot there we have to presume they managed to do in the story. I'm typically okay with a story establishing a circumstance and just rolling with it at the very beginning.
Yeah,
that's just
because that's the inciting incident.
Yeah, but like it's more the things that are happening during it. Like I would presume there is a reason why they don't live near the waterfall. That sort of stuff.
No, Sparty, no Sparty. That's not what I meant. What 17 more years? I can always start again. Make another kid. Well, the issue with that is I'm pretty sure he does canonically.
No, yeah, that's the entire plot of the first film, is that she's pregnant and they're preparing for the birth and like super padding a room. Anyway.
What is a plot hole? People's definitions vary, but here's the generally accepted one that I use. A plot hole.
I love the generally accepted one that I used. So the one that you accept.
I mean.
So wait a second.
I was with him in the first half.
Yeah, but like, wait a second. You just said that nobody even knows what a plot hole is. What the fuck?
Did he? What did he say?
Yeah, he did actually. Yeah, he did.
They don't actually matter. So, what is a plot
go back
hole?
a little further.
Yeah,
People's definitions vary.
Naruto plot hole.
So many plot holes.
Plot holes. 10 movie plot holes.
Back in April, when A Quiet Place opened, my Twitter and Facebook feeds were filled with people complaining about all the plot holes. I saw one guy say he'd made a list of 41 plot holes in that movie. But here's the thing. No one seems to actually know what a plot hole is.
Okay.
And all those
congratulations, you played yourself. What did I say?
I knew it was the right move to wait on doing this so I could completely forget the EFAP coverage, because now I'm like, oh no, they caught that. But like now we did in real time, and I can. Oh,
dude, I didn't even rewatch any of that stuff. That was off the dome.
I don't think I've seen that episode at all. But like, bro, please redraft
this Saturday
your
on
script.
Twitch, same name as YouTube. FMK Maid Warrior Queen. Fuck Marry Kill Maid Warrior Queen. Also, Batwoman 250 getting closer. Okay. Fuck Marry Kill Maid Warrior Queen, or I guess for Twilight's case it would be Butler Warrior King.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hard one.
I mean, I kill the warrior because I'm assuming they're trying to kill me.
I would have to presume warrior dies, because like.
And then.
I
then
guess.
I'll pull
I guess I have to be the royal side piece, going kill the warrior, marry the queen, fuck the maid.
Exactly.
How very royal of you, sir.
If I'm gonna be a king, I might as well play the part.
Like that.
Probably. Well, what if it's a Lancelot situation? So maybe like fuck the warrior, marry the queen, kill the butler, or king, kill the butler.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, what if the butler's jealous that you're with the king now?
What if it was the butler with the candlestick in the dormitory?
Everybody just wants me, apparently.
I mean, you are in the fucking Otome game, so I think that checks out.
Excalibur, the father didn't give the kid the toy, and the toy told the kid no. The daughter, but she only gave the kid the toy, not the batteries. That was on the dumb kid. Okay, so that was the order of events. Is that the father said no, the sister, I suppose, of the kid gave him the toy, but not the batteries. But he had the batteries and put them in. Okay.
Like I said, I don't know the events of the film, but I have seen like the clips of it because of this film. So the only context that I have is he has a plastic toy.
Yeah.
Why would you even allow him?
Pete, on the other hand, what is a queen going to do if you marry her and cheat on her with a maid? Well, apparently nothing, because her warrior's dead.
Exactly.
I mean, again, if we're talking about
Keikaku.
If we're talking about Twi's situation, I mean, yeah, if it's a Lancelot situation, it might work out for you for a month.
I was going to say, if I marry the queen, I have more leverage than if I fucked the queen, all right? I'm just putting that out there, and way more leverage than if I killed the queen, all right? I think killing the queen is probably the worst choice to make in any of this equation.
Regicide is a crime.
Apparently, the queen only has one warrior. I don't know, I guess. First part of the super about the EFAP this Saturday on Twitch. First part of the super is about I figured it'd be lit. I'm actually gonna write that down because I would love to watch his live reaction to that. So let's see.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Literature Devil. Do you know what time he's starting? Devil.
Yeah, in Eastern Standard Time, please.
Ruby. So I can write that down. I'll keep an eye open on the chat for that. Anyway, Patrick played himself immediately. We're 1 minute in.
Yeah.
Redraft, everybody.
About
always.
They don't actually matter. So, what is a plot hole? People's definitions vary, but here's the generally accepted one that I use.
So, no one knows what it is, but they have a bunch of general definitions, and here is the one that I use that's generally accepted, but it's specifically the one I use. Okay.
But also, people don't know what they are.
Yes. So we're all clear on that. Yes, no one knows what they are, but they have a general definition, and one of them that he uses.
Well, hush you. You have to understand that he is more enlightened than thee.
Yes.
Of course.
Evidently, he has been touched by the Great Cthulhu in order to understand this.
Of course. Trust my line of thinking,
is a point in which a story breaks a previously established rule about its own universe.
No, that's a contradiction.
No, it's a contradiction. That's an entirely different thing. A plot hole can, create a contradiction, but not all contradictions are plot holes.
He's an evolved critic. He's just evolving in
he's a devolution.
I know, he's evolving in an opposite direction.
What's the PewDiePie quote?
Oh my god. Actually, that kind of just runs into the fundamental issue with the video because he's going to overcorrect in the opposite direction. So, yeah.
Oh.
Basically,
has he ever made a response to the criticisms of his video ever?
Probably on Twitter.
Does he
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm pretty sure it was like a thing on Twitter about it, but then
really this whole he's evolving backwards thing, it's just reminding me of I have a buddy from high school. We used to be in our morality class. We did mock debates on different topics. Like we would have like these big hot button topics. Like, you would have like the classical politic ones like abortion, gay marriage. This was back before gay marriage became legalized in the States.
Okay.
Because you're old.
Yeah, I'm old. It was actually around the time that it happened. I think I graduated a year later, and that's when it actually happened. But regardless, our debate that 3 versus 3, the one that I got put on was being pro gay marriage, and this buddy of mine and 2 other people got put on the anti-gay marriage side. And the idea is like you're supposed to be able to argue even for a point you don't agree with, and I think that's fine. There was a hilarious debate because, for one, we had the closeted gay kid in our class on our team.
Oh no!
And everyone knew he was flamboyant as fuck, but he still denied it. But he was super passionate. He basically did most of the talking for us, took up almost all the 40 minutes all his own, like just ranting at them. It was me and my other buddy on my team was like, we had these notes prepared. We barely had to use them because the other team was completely unprepared. And like one of the only arguments they made was just this weak, like, well, it means we're de-evolving as a species. And it's like, they were parodying a point online very poorly, effectively.
Okay.
And so that became a running joke between me and the friend that was on there that didn't even get a word in. He was like detached. We were just like, we walked past each other in the hallways. We're like, we're de-evolving. We just yell at each other in a panic because that was like when that was said, everyone was like, we're de-evolving. Oh shit.
I mean, the whole thing that I was thinking about, I don't know if anyone else gets this reference, but the whole thing, is he gay or European?
Yeah, I know that one.
You got, oh cool, another person of the I don't understand this term, so nobody knows what the term actually means types. Lovely. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. But also there's a general definition for it. You'd love to see it.
Why does Celtic look like a gentle bird? Because I am always a gentle bird in all things that I do.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was just a funny side tangent.
Oh, good
Yeah.
side tangents.
Oh, this man. I am waving my fan in rage.
Here's what are not
I hope you
plot
don't
holes.
hear it.
Something that happened off screen. Context, please.
I mean, yeah.
Like, are you just saying in general, if something happens off screen, that's not a plot hole?
I mean, well, we'll get to a specific example in a second, okay?
Mm-hmm.
In The Dark Knight Rises, we never see how Batman gets back to Gotham City. That's a plot hole.
One of the earliest cinematic developments was the concept of montage.
What?
Yes, I
My
remember
man,
this.
hang on. First of all, montage means a series of stills or short video clips showing a logical progression where you can see a person going from point A to point B to C, D, E, F, G. Not, I am going to go from A and skipping to Z and not show you B to Y.
And well, especially because I remember that film because it really disappointed me. When Bruce goes from whatever the pit's called, I can't remember. He is on the other side of the planet. It's established earlier in that movie that he has no resources. He is basically dead broke, and he gets into Gotham City, which is cut off from everything, has military around literally every instance, and you can't cross the river even if it's frozen over. Like, so how did he get in there?
I know.
It's
say he's the Batman.
It's a very
bring that up.
It's as someone who actually doesn't mind that plot hole, I can still acknowledge. Yeah, I can. He's Batman in my mind, and just roll with the rest of the film. But I can acknowledge that is a flaw in the film. They don't really explain, like, they didn't set anything up for him to be able to do that. They could have just dropped a few things.
How do you I'm Batman a broken back?
You have a vaguely Middle Eastern Asian man reset it for you using ropes.
Yeah, he's not joking. That's how he did that. But I was about to say push-ups, sit-ups, and a lot of juice. That's how.
Uh-huh.
Where do you get the juice?
Great question, actually.
that hole in the ground. It has a very nice juice dispenser, actually. It's like the one really nice, just like in the side of the way. It just dispenses orange juice.
Like it's horrible and decrepit. You just turn the camera a little bit to the left, and there's like a froyo dispenser.
Exactly.
Right there.
That's what I'm like imagining. It's not even just it's pristine. It's like freshly installed, but like it's been there for decades.
Yeah, and they got a boba tea shop right next to it.
but no one goes in there. We don't have any money. We can afford it. How do they still open? It's mostly a racketeering scheme.
This is something that Twi brought up earlier. Like this particular plot hole, you can fix it pretty easily. The issue is that the movie doesn't. It doesn't even bother.
Yeah. Batman's inner juice (parentheses P).
Ew.
Dedarex, no. I am learning. These streams help me learn so much more about you.
Yeah, Dedarex. Why though?
Okay.
Wait. The pit is so stupid because apparently it's right next to a thriving Indian society, but doesn't have any form of guards or security to prevent a breakout. Well, you can't break out. You just have to, because a lot of people won't be able to
climb.
Do a running jump. Well, no, do a running jump because every adult just jumps like standing and doesn't do a running leap like the kid does.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Why does no one? There's plenty of space to get some speed.
Deshi. Yeah, but okay, look. The chant is fucking awesome. Deshi, bachara, deshi.
I'm not gonna deny that, but I'm not gonna standing jump.
Deshi, bachara, deshi.
You just use that to answer any plot.
Yeah, that is Patrick's answer to everything.
How does Kira survive?
Deshi.
How does Kira survive a nuclear blast?
Also, Bruce had a broken spine. How? They tried to do Nightfall, but did it horribly.
Yes.
Oh my god.
The idea is that when two images are presented in sequence, the audience understands that they occur chronologically and will mentally fill in the time between scenes. So for instance, if a person is in one location and the next scene they're in another location, we understand that in between scenes they traveled between the locations.
Okay, but here's the problem. You're misunderstanding the criticism. The criticism isn't that we don't get to see Bruce get to Gotham like step by step. The problem is that we have no idea how he fucking did that.
What's missing in this example or in this presentation is that when you see it, typically speaking, a character going from one location to another, with devoid of context, poses no challenge. However, with the information we're given, such as in The Dark Knight Rises, we have several compounding elements that tell us that it will be a difficult journey for Batman to make it back in enough time to Gotham in order to stop the problem. Like, we have a series of problems presented to us, and then they are swiftly ignored.
And I'm going to add on for like Dan Guy. Nightfall needs at least 2 movies to do well and needs an entire season of television. That is correct. But the thing that I have with this is just I'm going to assume Patrick Willems is a decent guy in real life. He's a decent conversationalist, and I assume he's decently smart as well. But just basically saying, hey guys, this is the most basic concept of a montage is so...
Yeah, it's
very poisoned patronizing. The well. It's patronizing. It poisons the well. It basically... It doesn't convince people, really. It just, make... Oop.
Sorry.
Please. No,
not
please.
only did he poison the well, but he deceived the audience actively by showing visuals of a guy already walking to let the audience know that he is meant to be going into a location when he says he's in one location and now he's in another. But he is actively moving at this point. Like, you are talking actively at the moment about a guy who is stuck in one location. He cannot move because from what I remember of the scene that I saw, because I haven't watched this film either. I haven't watched a lot of these movies.
Izanagi says...
He is stuck down a well.
Yeah. Izanagi says, F and hell, that's a cut, not a montage. A montage is multiple cuts and scenes in quick succession. Yeah. That's also another thing. He's poisoning the well where, like montage is a specific... it's a specific technique using the cuts that you are describing, Patrick.
it's also a case for like montages. You can use them in so many different ways. One of my favorites is for a joke of Into the Spider-Verse, like Noir's like everyone's wearing a mask. It can't be that easy. Literally next thing they're all waiters. It was that easy.
Yes.
Nameless. One day my mother complained about a minor plot hole in the 2015 Tarzan movie. She would keep nitpicking movies for years to annoy me, teen me.
Good. I
Yeah.
like your mom.
Oh my god.
Dang, okay.
God, one of my students, she was trying to like one of my students, because I coached mock trial. She was trying to like peel into what I did on YouTube because they were people are curious about what I do for a living, and it's like, well, I do my work on YouTube. No, I'm not going to tell you what my channel is because I cover not safe for work stuff occasionally, and you are teenagers. But I do media analysis. And she was like, oh, what kind of stuff? And it's like, well, I mostly, give criticism of things people don't want to hear sometimes. She's like, okay, well, what? Like, say me something like, well, in Endgame, this doesn't make sense, this doesn't make sense. And then she immediately puts her fingers in her ears and walks away. I'm not listening to you. I'm like, no, you need to get it back here. You need to learn why characters are out of character in that film. Like, you wanted to know this. You don't get to escape it now.
I can't talk to my parents about media analysis after my dad thoroughly schooled me on his knowledge of Dune off the blue, and my mom threw down a tidbit on 50 Shades of Grey that I never wanted to hear ever.
Oh my god.
No.
I am jealous of your parents because my entire family does not care.
Well,
like.
Oh wow!
My dad encouraged this. My dad encouraged this because a reminder, everyone in chat, just to give an example of things. The first full book that I sank my teeth into and got a decent way into, despite being a dyslexic 4-year-old, was the first Dune novel. I found it in my dad's bookshelf right outside of his home office. I started reading it because this is really cool. My imagination started going wild. My mom saw the book and was like, you probably shouldn't be reading that. And then my dad was like, wait. Let him keep reading.
You can read that?
No, let him keep reading.
You're 4 years old and could read that?
Yeah.
That explains everything. Orange Man says,
dude, I didn't learn how to read properly until first grade.
The Orange Man says, philosophical question: if a hole is present, should it be addressed or should you bury it? Would a hole cause so much worry when all involved are okay with it? When is a hole acceptable and why? Batwoman, $300.
Oh my god.
Okay, so let's put it this way. This hole is in your house. If it is a small hole, it is probably a chip in your linoleum. You can probably not worry about it. If this hole is so big
you don't have a living room.
12-year-old child can fall through it into your basement, you should probably fix that.
Yeah, and holes in stories is literally just like that. Like, if it's a hole in the story that fucks up with the not only whether or not it contradicts it, it just ruins the immersion and breaks the consistency within the story. That's something that should be fixed and acknowledged as this is a problem. This brings down the integrity of the work.
If you think of a narrative like a road, where you go from point A to point B, being the full length of the story, a plot hole is something that will occasionally pop up. It might be a pothole, it might just be a chip in the asphalt, it could be any number of things that just make things a bit of a bumpy ride. But if a hole is large enough that you have to swerve around it in order to avoid seriously damaging your car or getting it stuck, or Lord help you, it consumes the entire road, in which to progress, you have to fall into the hole, get out of your car, climb up the hole, and then limp your way to the end of the road.
Yep.
Yeah, there might be some merit to trying to fill that in.
Also, just to finalize this small story about my dad saying let him cook with it. I didn't finish Dune. I came back to it when I was in high school. I read through it, thought it was really good, obviously, but then I had a few issues with it. I brought them up to my dad, and my dad listened to them. He went through it. He goes like, "Oh yeah, so like, why didn't this happen for Paul when X, Y, and Z?" And my dad just then stopped and said, "Okay, let me explain this to you." This man then proceeded to give me the entire story of the Dune timeline from the books that like Frank wrote after like the original series, and explained all the timeline stuff and like exactly how the magic system worked in that. And then I was like, "You just know that off the top of your head?" And then he looked me dead in the eyes as he was drinking coffee, and he said, "There's a reason why I smugly smile while you try to explain Star Wars lore to me."
Based.
Angry
That's me with
brony.
King
I love
Ryan's
talking
Raymond.
about holes on Pride Month.
Like
You get one. You get one. Chat. That was your one.
Yeah, that was crazy.
I have no ability to argue with him. I know for a fact that I will find a way to be destroyed.
Yeah.
Fruby asks.
me and my. Oh god.
Oh, sorry. Furby asks what was your reason for changing Roman's outfit? Just generally people like there was someone that proposed a variation of it, and we actually ended up liking it more, so we did a soft reset of it. It's not that big of a change. Technically speaking, he's still wearing it under it. It's just slightly modified. We hand waved that away. That's a small plot hole. Doesn't need to be addressed.
Sure.
2, any reason why you didn't give them a color-based acronym like Scorpion, Soleil, Cole, Penny, because it's Atlas and their whole viewpoint on the color naming system is kind of silly. They only had the color names they needed, like funky, for the Vital Festival. Otherwise Atlas doesn't use the color naming system. We decided that was more in line with their culture.
Okay, that's interesting.
That doesn't mean that there weren't. We actually I don't know if we can ever incorporate this. I don't know if it's revealing. There's a cut scene that we wanted to have with Penny trying to suggest different color names to the group chat for them, and literally CL just has to keep changing the group chat back to Team 32 because Penny keeps changing it to like pink or something like that. But yeah, that's like answers for you. All right.
Oh, sorry. I think I cut out. Adam Damon for $2. In your opinion, when is a plot hole acceptable? I mean, the example of one that is like small and acceptable is that like, oh, a character usually has a button in this shot, but in this next shot it's gone. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I guess there's a hole. I guess, but it's like, I don't know. We can just move on from there. Basically, when it doesn't really impact the story all that much.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even necessarally say that is a.
That's an editing.
That's more of an error.
Yeah. A small...
like we said earlier, that if it depends on the quality of the overall film and your ability to tolerate such things, but also the quality and the impact that plot hole might leave on the rest of the film and the rest of the plot of the story, or a character's progression in the story. So like, if you say that this thing is vital in order to get your machine to work, and then you are able to get the machine to work without inserting that thing in there, then that is a major plot hole that will fix everything. That will just, break everything. But if it's like, oh, you might not get that thing to work if you don't have this thing in, but I don't know how important it is, and then you can get that thing to work without it. It's like, yeah, they said that it's probably unlikely to get it working, but they did it. So it's like not that important that it's there.
Right.
It's like really insignificant.
Sure.
Okay.
Movies tech audience is reasonably intelligent, but I guess they're wrong. If movies showed us every single second that happened during
What?
All right.
No, I'm just saying
dick.
the thing that was like, people are assuming that they're reasonably intelligent, but I get that wrong, and I was just reacting just at. A distressful bit of wind escaped my pages.
Also, last thing I'll answer
at
on
the audacity.
Last thing I'll answer on Furby. Why are there character PNGs for Scorpion and Clover done by different artists, not Butterfly Blue Lady? Makes it hard to... Well, it's because we had so many new characters that we had to redesign from the ground up. So we basically split it into groups for a bunch of different artists to cover. They have like mini teams now for character design. Don't worry, once we get new outfits for characters, you'll be seeing some familiar designs pop in.
More rudely, do you think that Butterfly is just like an art slave for fixing Ruby, and that she should design character designs from scratch for like 50 different characters?
Yeah, between her and Mupa, they were like, this entire volume was incredibly taxing on them. Getting the Ruby designs was really, really hard to begin with. We were lucky that we decided to split up the effort, or else it would have taken forever.
Titan, wait, are you going to use Dedorex icon for PNG tuber? I've been thinking about it, but I need to talk to Dedorex first. I just don't want to take the art.
Oh, Titan asked, like, if you establish giant flying birds in the story that can take you anywhere, but you use an airplane instead, does that count? That depends on whether or not you establish the airplanes as being just as common of air transport.
Yeah. It also like asks the question of like, what is the logistical differences? Like maybe the birds are their own luxury service, or vice versa. Maybe the plane is more of a luxury service. You know, I don't want to go flying around with my face exposed to the fucking wind up in the stratosphere. I'm sorry, that sounds very uncomfortable. I would have to wear a lot of fur coats.
Oh, Blank Canvas says, it's funny he's saying the audience to be intelligent enough to ignore missing info when it's the movie makes insulting our intelligence by hoping we don't ask any questions. Yeah, exactly.
Often, yes.
Yeah.
The audience understands that they occur chronologically and will mentally fill in the time between scenes. So for instance, if a person is in one location and the next scene they're in another location, we understand that in between scenes they traveled between the locations. Movies tend to assume that the audience is reasonably intelligent.
Yeah,
but I guess
it's in like a typical freaking real life scenario.
My proposition to Patrick here is, so if someone's in a jail cell and then we transition to them out and about in a field having a nice picnic, and we just never address how they got out of the jail cell, what are we supposed to think, Patrick?
He teleported.
I guess.
I mean, I just assume. Listen, okay, that the prisoner and the warden were in a room one night, and let's just say things happened.
When a prisoner and the warden love each other very much,
yeah.
You get a you get a cut. Aiden Hughes, Celtic, you can fly. My arms get tired.
You need to work on your cardio.
Every single second that happened during the span of the story, they would be 40 hours long and really f***ing boring.
Which is why nobody asked for that.
No.
Yeah, it's almost as if there are several films that managed to do this just fine with no complaints, and you're just ignoring them because... Why?
Yeah, it's this weird, stupid thing a lot of people do with these criticisms where it's all like, people, it's something that they don't really understand. That, like, okay, people are complaining about this particular thing, but then they completely ignore that there are other stories that do something similar that people don't fucking complain about. And they don't ask the question, well, what is the difference? Bumblebee. Sasusaku.
Anyway. Jumping from the scene in A New Hope where Luke is looking at the two suns, and then we just cut to the end of Return of the Jedi with the Death Star exploding for the second time. Just like, yes, no, we understand that perfectly because of Montage, Patrick.
Yes.
Also, by the way, I will take 40 hours of Peter Jackson quality Lord of the Rings if that's what's on the table with this outcome.
Adaman 678. The problem with that is that you have to explain how they got there. Like if Kid Goku was told about Kami, and then the next scene he's on a lookout, that would be confusing as hell. Yes, you like.
Yeah, basically.
Like you can make entire stories about characters going from point A to point B. Lord of the Rings.
Exactly what that arc was.
You know the easiest one with Dragon Ball example: Journey to the West.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically.
Why does music sound like the Resident
it's
Evil
almost
movies? Don't insult the Resident Evil.
It's almost like the majority of stories out there is literally the story about going from point A to point B and like showing the progression of characters going through that. Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If freaking Toriyama can get this shit right, you have no fucking excuse.
When a character does something you wouldn't do?
There are so many plot holes in A Quiet Place. Oh, it's such a great movie. I mean, like, why did they decide to have a baby? And why didn't they just move to the waterfall?
Okay.
This is the one that really drives me nuts. Okay. Movies are, for the most part, about human beings.
Oh my
or at least characters
God.
who think and act like human beings. And you know what human beings are not? Logical.
What?
People are
they can be.
Yeah.
They can be.
Yeah, they can be.
Yeah, people are not impulsive 100% of the time. The entirety of human civilization tells a lot of times where people are impulsive, but you know what? It also tells a lot of times where people are hyper logical.
And even then, even if the people themselves don't understand it, I've said this on stream before, there is always an internal mechanism of logic, even if it's flawed. And when you're writing a character in a story, you have to do the same thing for them. If a character makes a mistake, but it's understandable, that is perfectly fine if it's within their character. I should not be seeing Kenshin pick up a gun, blast someone's head off, and just walk away like nothing happened. I'm sorry, that's just not in his character.
You guys call it in your Volume 8 Bumblebee review on characters. We call what?
I assume this point.
I'm possibly
characters
characters can be illogical and irrational. It is possible. You have to establish it as a consistency of their character as well. And with the Quiet Place example, we don't ever get an explanation why they don't sit up near the waterfall and why they don't why they're having a child now of all times. Though, I would say at the very least, the child is understandable because it's been several years, they're in a post-apocalypse, things don't seem to be changing, and humanity kind of has to go on. So,
yeah, like the child is very understandable because one thing that most living beings are, including humans, is resilient. Mm-hmm. Like, sure, a lot of people out there today say that they don't want to have kids because everywhere is so volatile. But what we do is we adapt to our environment. That is literally evolution. Like, if we didn't adapt to survive, then we would just die out. So them having a kid, despite these circumstances, is them adapting to their new environment where they have a super predator and still going on with their lives.
All right, Periodic Pete, in the words of JYCT, you can accidentally a child, but you can't accidentally not move to the safest possible place for several years.
Yeah, yes, JYCT made a great response video to this. In fact, freaking Cynical Reviews said, human beings may not be logical all the time, but characters cannot be
may not always
be logical, but they can be rational.
Yes.
Yeah, like say a character who like runs into every single conflict, runs away from a different conflict because there's a very specific reason. They haven't it isn't a plot hole or anything else. They are following an internal set of logic that they're using, like Kaiser said. If the internal character logic is like consistent, then everything's fine. It's when someone goes the thing that I usually go for is it's as if a character who has always been the save humanity, basically a character has two buttons in front of them. Someone who is like always helpful, always happy, and like always wants to do the best things for everybody is stuck in a room where two buttons, one blows up the world, one saves it, and they hit the one that blows up the world with no explanation.
Yeah, exactly. Which that's exactly like my freaking Kenshin Himura example. It's like he has a vow never to kill, and he's only ever been driven to do so in very tense situations. Very, very few situations.
Here's a great example I thought off the top of my head. First of all, Aiden Hughes, Celtic, you're going to see Spaceballs 2. As a Meg Mel Brooks stan, I have to.
Same.
But the example I'm thinking of is the Resident Evil video games. There's a lot of really illogical, crazy, zany puzzles that are littered all over the place for various different reasons. Now, are characters logical solving these puzzles. They are following a chain of logic, but the puzzles themselves are illogical, so them going along with it could be seen as an illogical choice. However, considering the situation that they are in, and the effort they would need to expend in order to achieve their goals otherwise, it seems rather rational that they would go through the illogical process of solving these stupid puzzles in order to try and survive the crazy circumstances they are in.
Oddly enough, sometimes that's also explained. I believe it's like a side book that the Raccoon City Police Department, it used to be a like trap house.
No. It used to be a museum.
Trap house museum.
No, it was just a regular museum. It used to be.
Then I misremembered.
Yeah.
My apologies.
But it was also owned by Umbrella, and anything Umbrella automatically becomes a fucking trap house.
Yeah, that's fair.
that's just like, if you hear that Umbrella somehow has a hand in the construction company, just assume you're going to fall through a fucking pit somewhere. Balinor Uprising Gathering Tinder Part 1. Elder Lori. It had been longer than most people get that I had been trapped in this realm. And while I miss my old family, I'm proud of my new one. Proud fire starters, each apprentice. Lori has apprentices? Oh no.
Nice.
Oh.
Well, I like this version of Lori anyway.
I would question how these guys have over 100,000 subscribers, but then I remembered humanity has devolved.
Going back a second to the quiet place, and the whole waterfall thing. Raymond mentioned earlier, like, I think that it's logical that they wouldn't go near the waterfall because their ears, they would start going deaf after a while. It's like, not if you build a house there, though. Like, I spent like 2 weeks, like, right by the ocean in a hotel. You could still hear the water constantly, just the waves, and it's really annoying, but it's not loud enough that you would go deaf.
Waterfalls versus waves are completely different metrics of loud.
They're both really fucking loud, and like, I would feel safer living in a wooden house where the waterfall is still muffled, knowing that I won't be snoring really loudly and get killed in my sleep, as opposed to not.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I think there's a lot of fair arguments, I think, against the point. I'm just saying that I think there is. If the film bothered to offer them, there are options for why they don't live near the waterfall on a regular basis.
It's plenty, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that they doesn't get addressed is the plot hole.
Well, we've talked about it in like previous streams. You'll have to eventually do the writing for the writer at that point, which is not something that you need.
Yeah, which is really stupid because we're talking about character motivations. Like, sure, some things may not necessarily need all that much an explanation in the story, but when we're talking about the motivations of the characters and we have an understanding of why they would do X thing, unless you give them a roadblock that would make them at least try to do something differently naturally, you have no business having them doing that at random. How is that enjoyable as a story?
An easy way that I've seen a friend pointed this out to me. You could have a small scene of like the dad trying to find like architecture books or everything else, but he factually just either can't get the supplies or doesn't have the know-how to build something stable enough right on the like shore of the waterfall.
Yeah, people are like trying to build a waterfall-based soundproof building in a post-apocalyptic world swarming with monsters with incredible hearing is extremely difficult. I think that's true, but at the same time, they also did do a shouting match together. Like
I was about to say, you can yell at the top of your lungs in that waterfall and nothing happened.
Yeah, it's to establish that natural sounds drowning out yours keep you safe, and it's a nice moment between the father and the daughter, if I remember correctly, but it still brings up the question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Like having a little bit with like him studying and trying to learn how to do it and showing that, because I have something that's never addressed is he didn't build the house they were in. It's like he didn't just and then pop out of nowhere.
Because there are methods to create very solid structures by just doing the Lego method of sticking things together. You don't need nails and stuff.
Oh my god, look at the art.
I love the idea. I love the idea that he's just sitting there with 2 boards, a nail, and a squeaky hammer, just like trying to nail.
No, Celtic, have you seen this?
Seen what?
Let me just throw this to you real quick.
I might be able to put it.
It's an art.
Okay.
I Daigato with the caption of Celtic in high school.
Why does he look like an Ed, Ed and Eddie character?
This feels like a weird. These both feel like weird rejects between Smiling Friends and the world of Gumball.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit! I remember that movie.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say if we had more time, I could go through the audience survey for Ruby while we're on stream, but that's just in the background.
That was funny. All right.
Impulsive. They make choices based on emotion. Not everyone thinks exactly the same, and also people make mistakes. You know how in Star Trek, Vulcans...
Okay,
There's a difference.
A mistake. Okay, Patrick, a mistake is not looking where I'm going one time and stubbing my toe. Not freaking forgetting that there is a waterfall that can banish away freaking Heartless.
Yeah, people make mistakes that are in their character, yes, Pete, and also like people make mistakes all the time. Look, if I had a way, I have to spend an hour every single day to drive to and from my work. If I had a faster way of doing that isn't my car, and I didn't take it, I would slap myself as hard as I can.
Yes.
Like there is a difference between, like Kaiser said, not looking where you're going and stubbing your toe, or not paying attention and like giving yourself a small burn as you're baking cookies and stuff, and forgetting that like using a knife on your arm will fucking hurt and possibly chop it off.
Let's see. Hey, Celtic, if you only had to watch one, would you choose the Resident Evil movies or the Resident Evil Netflix series? Well, I don't know anything about the Netflix series other than it's bad. Which Resident Evil movies are we talking? The CGI ones that are in canon with the games, or the Mila Jovovich ones? Because honestly, I would probably take the Mila Jovovich ones. They are fun as hell.
Yeah.
And then also...
The first couple of ones anyways.
You guys are friends with Critter? Yes, she was one of the founding hosts of the podcast.
Yep.
Yeah.
And she's always with us.
Dominated by logic.
And she'll be back.
Yes, we plan to have her on occasionally. Yes.
Logically is at odds with acting human. So if everyone acted totally...
Wait.
And also, people make mistakes. You know how in Star Trek, Vulcans live dominated by logic, and it's established that acting logically is at odds with acting human.
That is that is boiling down that dichotomy.
I don't know shit about
so
Star Trek,
much.
But even if that were the case, within that story, like, people can be logical. I'm sorry, dog.
Vulcans can be illogical. Humans, like the entire point of Spock is learning to balance the human and Vulcan halves of himself, learning how to balance extreme emotion of his human half with the logical nature of his Vulcan half. But it doesn't also mean that humans can't also be logical.
And I'm throwing this out there. I'm not giving credit to JJ's work on Star Trek. I think it very much this is the point. But when asked when he was a kid, "Hey, Dad, why did you marry Mom?" and then his dad gives the traditional Vulcan answer of well, as ambassador to Earth, I had to do X, Y, Z, and it seemed super logical. Then later in his life, when Spock is talking to his dad again, he says, "I did it because I loved her."
Yeah, and not to mention, there's also this thing that's very early established called Ponfar, which is the Vulcan mating season. Hey guys, remember all that bullshit about fucking Faunus heat cycles? Star Trek did it first, motherfuckers, and it's a beloved episode because it has the fight music, the da 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 da.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah, but Pete is actually giving a good thing. They just
played that during the sex scene?
No. Spock has to fight Kirk because for some reason the girl that Spock was supposed to mate with was falling for Kirk, so there was a battle for supremacy. They had to do like a
yeah,
battle.
Okay, my bad. My bad.
But
that would be epic sex music, though.
But, sorry about that. Pete, I was actually going to bring Data up. Data is like a living computer. He's a character of quote-unquote pure logic, but he makes a bunch of mistakes because he makes logical choices on the information that he has, and that information is not the full picture.
Yes.
Oh my god, that was about to exactly bring that up. There have been stories that are made where all the characters like are acting logically within their viewpoints and the information that they have. You can have a story where that is the case, and you can still have tension and emotion and find that compelling.
Sora Hart, member for 2 months. Hi, everyone. I just woke up. What did I missed? Well, we are
an hour and a half.
Hour and a half in, and we've only gotten 2 minutes into the video. And I am more interested in taking a piss right now than listening to this man educate me on fucking plot holes. Oh
my gosh.
Let's see. Although there's plenty of fanfics that twist into a different thing altogether, that's more like Klingon relationships and how I picture William Shatner doing poetry. Remember, Klingons have the antithesis of BDSM dungeons. They have cuddle dungeons.
Right.
That's not actually canon, but I wish it were.
Okay, fair enough.
So if everyone acted totally logically all the time, only making the most logical decision in any situation, no one would be acting human. Thus, there would be no conflict, which would lead to no drama, which would lead to no story.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right
Freer
there,
and Beyond Jury's End, you fuck. Well, that didn't exist.
The thing that I would use about
all right, you guys go off and we just drink up and right back.
So in most cases, and in a lot of different mythologies and fantasies and everything, there's usually some being called the Great Deceiver, which throws a wrench into the logic of all the people and makes them go off bad information. Makes them do something that they normally wouldn't do. My favorite example, because I'm a huge like 40k head, Zarek the Silent King made a deal with a like star god called the Deceiver. He didn't know he was called the Deceiver at the time, but he willingly marched his entire population into furnaces to have all their souls eaten and make these gods hyper powerful, because he was acting on the idea of these gods will give my people immortality and we're dying from space cancer. So yes, I am taking this deal. Ah shit, he's called the Deceiver. Fuck, I should have known that the first time.
Yeah.
No conflict.
No tension,
no drama.
No conflict.
No.
Why would we want that? We're super hyper logical about every single thing. You know, we got nickel and dime every single plot point. That's what we do.
Aiden, 40k or Warhammer Fantasy? I do like Warhammer Fantasy. I prefer 40k. I've got a few more of the books. I stan the Infinite and the Divine a lot. No, the Deceiver is just his title. He's very trustworthy. I'm sure of that.
Oh yeah, he is just deceptively nice. You see?
Yeah, I see the strengths of fantasy, but I prefer the sci-fi aspect, and I just really like a good chunk of the stories of the Primarchs and everything. So 40k really sits high up there for me.
Yeah,
but it's almost like Patrick is trying to present a false dichotomy.
I had a thought on how to categorize this, because this is how most characters will function. They will have desires. They will have needs or desires that typically needs are more rational, but they would have desires that would be less rational. They might say covet someone's wife or husband. That's something that I desire. They will then take logical action in order to achieve an ends with that goal in mind. So they will, in order to achieve what is seemingly an illogical choice to make, they will take logical actions to achieve it. It still follows from their viewpoint, it must be a rational chain of objectives, unless they have lost touch with the world.
Yeah.
In which case you need to establish that.
Yeah, like a scammer is going to find smart ways to scam people, yeah.
Stories, and movies would be really f***ing boring.
No. What movies have you watched?
There is a huge plot hole in Star Wars. I mean, come on. Why would the Death Star have such an obvious design flaw?
Okay, some of
I hear that, and the first thing that comes into my head was I think it was either a Robot Chicken or like a something sketch, and he goes like, "Why did you make the Death Star have like this one exhaust port?" And he's like, "Do you have any fucking idea how hard it was to make a machinery that had one small exhaust port? Do you have any
Yeah, it's like, I took an entire space station the size of the moon and condensed the entire exhaust system down to a 2 meter by 2 meter exhaust point, and you want to complain that it's there? I've committed a miracle of engineering, sir.
Yeah, and let's not pretend that it's a very easy, simple thing to like take advantage of as a weakness. Luke almost got shot down if it wasn't for Han being there.
Multiple people got shot down on the way there.
Yeah, there were multiple people there. Luke was the only one that survived that mission.
Yes. And it was thanks to Han and, you know, the Force.
Oh, just rebuild it? Ah, who's gonna pay? Who's gonna pay for it? You got an ATM on that torso of yours, light bright? Now you get back here. I'm gonna tell everyone how much of a bitch you were about that panda bear, Badamame, or whatever her name was. Oh God, he's crying. God, I love Robot Chicken.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Balnor Uprising, Gathering Tinder, Part 3. Lori, that young apprentice of mine, a boy eager to stick up for his newfound family, caught the young Ari the Fourth's eye, picking a fight with her guard, demanding an audience.
Oh.
Okay, all right.
Interesting.
Got intrigue with the court now.
These can be valid complaints. Sometimes there's a story development that's a little too convenient.
What? Some of these can be valid complaints. When are they then?
Yeah.
Are you going to specify when they are?
Didn't he also say in the beginning of this that they don't actually matter?
Yes.
Yes.
So when is a plot hole important and when is it not? And when is it valid and when is it not? It's almost like you should have made this video to tell the difference so that people would understand.
Okay, so okay, let me get this straight. All those plot holes don't matter because people don't understand what a plot hole is, but they have a general definition for them, and here's the one that I use that's correct. And then from that definition, they sometimes matter, but not always. I think I'm following this right, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're all on the same page here. I'm glad this makes complete sense.
You know that part in the stream where we actually, you know, throw out examples of like what we mean by plot holes and when they apply and don't apply in like the first 10 or 20 minutes of this whole thing? That's what Patrick should have done.
Yeah.
Convenient. Like in the 2009 Star Trek, Kirk just happens to get stranded on the same planet as old Spock, and they end up in the same cave together so Spock can explain what's going on. I like the movie, but that's a little contrived and lazy.
It's called a coincidence.
That's not a plot hole.
That's not a plot hole.
No,
that's
a plot hole. Wait, I think he's about to say it's not a plot hole. I think he's about to say that.
But it's not a plot hole.
Yeah, so why are you using it? Why are you referencing it as a plot hole?
So why do you even bring it up? If you're
It's not even a plot hole. It's not even a plot hole. He's been shoved off onto a fucking planet. Okay, no, actually, wait. I'm sorry. I'm mixing things up. Spock was there because it's the closest planet to see Vulcan destroyed, which in itself just shows us how little. I should have been the warning sign that J.J. Abrams doesn't know how seeing things astronomically works. But like, it's just because it was like. It's convenient. I don't know if it's contrived because Kirk was like stripped of his command and, you know, intentionally stranded at the closest planet possible, which happened to be the same one that that Spock was on. That was just, I guess that's it's convenience. That's all it is. It's just convenience, which is lame, but it's there.
Right.
Oh no, a convenience. Yeah, and.
So my question right now is, who is saying these things, and why haven't you given examples to show that you just aren't pulling these out of your ass to be like contrarian? Like you have to. I think that you should show us that there are legitimate people out there who are making these stupid points and saying, yeah, these are not plot holes, because these people are saying that these are plot holes. And it's like, yeah, sure, we can agree to that. Those people are saying that they're plot holes and they're not. We agree with you, Patrick, but you're not saying that.
Yeah, cut the freaking shadow boxing crap. Just show these tweets or whoever the fuck is saying these
If
things.
you hadn't included that montage of people in the foreground at the beginning of this, showing that you had gone through a bunch of videos, people talking about plot holes, I would actually be a little more in your category of you talking about these complaints in abstract. I'd actually be a little more on your side with that. But you have the footage. You have people clearly who are complaining about these things, and you are presenting it as though they're wrong without elaborating on the why. And it's so frustrating. You can't, you're not going like, well, there's a common complaint about X. Here is what is the common complaint. Here, and here. Here's the problem. And people call it a plot hole. It's not a plot hole for this reason, this reason, this reason. And it might not actually be a problem overall because of this reason, and this reason. You're not doing that. You're just telling us that it's wrong and then giving us the most bare bones of it's not that way because it doesn't work that way. And it's really annoying.
Yes. And it's not even adding to the conversation. Okay, you're talking about plot contrivances, which is different from plot holes. What does this add?
Yes.
Okay, so something that is explained in the movie.
Del Toro know the rebels' plans. Nobody told him. That's a plot hole.
Wait, who?
I mean, how does Benicio del Toro know the rebels' plans?
The actor.
Nobody told him.
It's in Last Jedi, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the hacker in the Last Jedi.
Right. Okay.
The smuggler did. Yeah.
That's a plot hole.
At least I really don't like this joke. Like,
me neither.
It just feels
Dude, it's
so
the same
cruel.
energy. It's the same energy as that, like, freaking that one time Lily just slapped that straw man in the face about 8 episodes is not a season.
Guy, you know what? I've realized what it is. It means we can't say that he's shadowboxing. He's actually punching someone.
Oh shit!
Beat the system.
Yeah, he's just an abuser now.
He's just abusing this poor guy.
Let's go!
I'm going to take a guess because I remember this coming up. Like, how does he know the plan? But like, there is a scene where like he overhears things in the same ship that Finn and Rose, they are in. Like, he does hear everything. So
yeah, I was going to say, like, you could just say they're idiots in that movie because that's kind of how they are in that movie.
Frankly, that isn't even the top 10 worst issues of that movie. Let's be 100% honest.
Yeah.
Check the art.
Oh, art?
That too, yeah. Yeah, the art, it's great. It's one of
Yes!
Fantastic.
I kind of want like him to look back and it's one of the like monsters right there just looking at him. He's like,
just
hey,
pull up.
What you doing?
Hey, buddy.
just have like an alien from the Alien movies on the right.
Yeah.
50% of the plot holes that I see people complain about are things that are actually explained in the movie if you just pay attention. Like that one in The Last Jedi, there's a scene where you see DJ listening as Poe tells Finn and Rose the Resistance's plan. But I guess if you're too busy live tweeting about plot holes, you can miss some stuff.
Oh, fuck you.
I'm sorry. Who the fuck even said that criticism in the first place? I'm sorry, bro. It's been a while since I've seen this movie, but I have watched that movie and I saw almost every single goddamn rant video talking about it. I have not heard even a single time this being brought up.
Yeah. It's like,
what the fuck are we on about?
I remember when Fat Man and I discussed Mahler's first video on the Force Awakens. He was like, oh no, Mahler just gets things patently wrong, like the relationship between Kylo Ren and the guy from the beginning, the old man from the village at the very beginning of that film. And I'm like, wait, there was a relationship between those guys? And I never went back to confirm it, but like everything that I've seen since then, nothing has ever indicated to me that they actually knew each other other than like some brief moments of dialogue that don't really give us much of anything to work with. And it's like, is that really explained in the film? I don't think it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, like you can miss things. Like, yes, people can miss things, but like I'm not entirely sure what you're trying to prove here. Like, that's not a
like I admit that there are people that complain about plot holes in a way that does, like, I don't know, sidestep the point of the story or the things that the story chooses to focus on. But if you want an example of that, actually show one that people fucking talk about. Like, please?
It's also something to say about a film, a book, or a TV show, what have you, that you can have a criticism that some things are in fact just too subtle.
Yeah.
And it like ruins things here and there.
Right.
I'm trying to remember. Is it Ant that made a complaint about the acid blood in Alien, or is it gonna be him that makes an acid blood complaint?
No, it's gonna be.
I know
him,
I know he does, and I have the counter to it.
Oh, goody! That's gonna be fun.
You can find plot holes anywhere. They're all over your favorite movies. In Lord of the Rings, the Eagles could have just flown the ring to Mountain Dew and saved everyone.
No, they couldn't.
They couldn't.
Nope.
When all that trouble. In Toy Story, why does Buzz freeze like the other toys when he thinks he's a real person?
That gets into a deeper common criticism of the nature of the toys in Toy Story. Like, like what is their properties exactly that let them do what they do? Like, I don't know if I want to dig that deep, man. That might be a layer too deep.
In Ocean's 11, how did they get the flyers into the vault? In Cinderella, why does the glass slipper stay when everything else disappears? In Alien, if the acid can melt through the floor, why doesn't it melt through the entire...
Okay, so I have to actually comment on this one.
Okay.
Because Alien's one of my favorite movies, and when they see the acid starting eating through the floor, one of their first things is it's going to eat through the entire hull, and then they proceed to follow it all the way down until it stops because it's a chemical reaction and it's running stuff out.
Right.
Yeah. It's acid. Acid has a finite point at which it stops being acidic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think they comment on it. They actually, I think they say something to that effect that it basically.
Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure
they outright say it stopped.
Yeah.
And they make a like their whole thing is like they're super scared about it going through the hole in the Nostromo. They run down. They try to figure out like, okay, as we're running down, how do we like put more things in its way, sort of thing, to try and stop it.
Nameless. When in Rome, do what Romans do. Buzz maybe.
Buzz baby.
I would imagine that that's more of an involuntary thing that toys do, like how. Most animals just freeze and stay perfectly still. It's an instinct thing rather than something that you consciously do.
That's always been my interpretation.
Deer in the headlights type thing, right?
Also, with the freaking Cinderella thing, I mean, I just imagine that. Yeah, well, not even just that. It's magic. Specifically, it's the fairy godmother's work.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I was also about to comment on that as well. That I'm pretty sure that there is like a moment in the film where she like looks up to the sky and like says thank you or whatever, like implying that that was a gift from the fairy godmother, like a remembrance for the night that she had or something like that. Or possibly even knowing that Cinderella would also end up in the situation that she is, where the prince is looking for her, and the only way to find, and this is a way to find her.
Izanagi says, God dang it, I might actually clock out from the stream. You guys are great, but this video feels as bad as Lily's nonsense. Stick around, man. It's fun.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, look, don't force it if you don't want to, but I mean, this isn't as anywhere near as horrible as all of our other stuff, to be fair.
Lily Orchard, Axel. Lily Orchard. We've covered her.
Yeah. Dun dun.
Yep.
Or, sorry, CD Cal. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, C. Diddy, right.
Entire ship. What does after midnight technically mean? Isn't it always after midnight? How does that rule make any sense? In Star Wars, why does the Death Star have a trash compactor when they can...
That's just a vagary. That's not like a plot hole. It just...
Also, wait, why does the Death Star have a trash compactor?
What? Oh, one minute. I gotta hear that again. What the fuck?
Floor, why doesn't it melt through the entire ship? In Gremlins, what does after midnight technically mean? Isn't it always after midnight? How does that rule make any sense? In Star Wars, why does the Death Star have a trash compactor when they can just jettison the trash into space?
What? Motherfucker! Do you understand how valuable resources are on a fucking space station?
Yeah, especially one the size of the moon.
Like, the easiest thing for a trash compactor in the spaceship is just, what if things get damaged? You can't exactly park the motherfucker to like, hey, can we get imagine parking.
Also, it creates
the
debris. People are like, people who creates debris in the fucking space.
Yeah, that's
problems.
Doesn't, like, that thing is big enough to have its own gravitational pull. They
No, the
probably
thing that
don't
I was
want that.
No, the thing that I was getting to was, like, imagine pulling the Death Star up to an auto parts after, like, because they need a spare part or like a piece of metal to fix something.
They
No,
need a
just
spare
recycle the
wheel.
stuff there.
There's like one tiny little wheel well somewhere near the bottom of the fucking sphere.
Also, just jettison things into space. Do you have any idea how horrifying it would be to have multiple tubes that basically have like direct connection to the outside world? Basically, the pressure of like,
I know
I'm gonna throw
the Star
this.
Destroyers have those.
Well, no, the thing that I was thinking about is, like, you know how like just the pressure difference between being in like a spaceship or in the outside everything, right?
Yeah.
Like, you just get sucked in. Imagine like throwing a soda bottle down and then like your hand just happened to be right next to the pressurization and then you're just spaghettified right then and there. How would that fuck up the average stormtrooper seeing that? Like, there's Jerry, he's throwing away his coffee.
They did that in episode 5 though. I feel like like basically an aircraft carrier versus a fucking mothership is a slightly different thing. You would probably need a lot more managed space on those circumstances. Also, mind you, one is purely military versus the other one, which has a lot of civilian presence, because it's supposed to be, the cover story for it is that it's just a space station.
Yeah, it's meant to be a large space station, but they happen to have something huge on it. Oh, thank you, Dedorex.
Oh, what did he do now?
Oh dear.
No, my apologies.
So, like, going to Gremlins for a sec, because you guys just love fucking talking about Star Wars for some goddamn reason.
I haven't seen Gremlins.
With it. You're obsessed with Star Wars, guys.
I am.
But
I didn't even say.
Like, just the three of you always talk about Star Wars. Always have to bring up Star Wars.
Cool.
Oh yeah, it's totally our fault, not the videos. Yeah.
Hey, we talked about Alien.
No, I'm not. I rarely ever talk about Star Wars, Titan. Anyway, going to Gremlins. Like, I think that the criticism of isn't it always midnight is very, very dumb, because, like, yes, technically somewhere out there it is always technically midnight, but midnight is the concept of your direct location, like the time that it is in your direct location. The location of where this creature is would determine that. But we also don't know what exactly it is about midnight that turns these creatures in their offspring into gremlins. So it could be anything. It could be where the moon is in the sky at midnight. It could be the direct, like, how far the sun is away from your direct location when midnight comes around. So it could be that maybe it's different for the location that you are on Earth, because, like, would it still be okay to feed this thing if you're living up in a Iqaluit or whatever, where it never gets to be, where the sun doesn't set for like 4 months out of the year? Or should you never feed these things for 4 months out of the year and they have to like hibernate when it comes wintertime? Or is it like something else? We just don't know. That's not a plot hole. That is just a lack of information.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the question that I think this is more fair to Patrick's point, is at what point after midnight is it okay to start feeding them again? Because technically speaking, every time is kind of after midnight. Like, is it like, and it is something that I would probably ask the old man if I were there. I'd be like, okay, so like, are we talking like 3 hours after midnight? 1 hour after midnight? Are we talking like 6 a.m. sunrise? Maybe sunrise would be the probably the safe bet, is that it's suddenly breakfast, which is no longer, like, I think there is information there that probably should have been clarified by the characters, but I I don't think it's that big of a deal because it's like kind of mysticism thing going on.
Well,
that's
sometimes...
what I was saying though. Like the only thing that we know is that you're not supposed to feed them after midnight. You can feed them before midnight, but there is also not technically a before midnight if you're going to be that fucking pedantic about it. But we have these concepts of before and after midnight. So
what about a space colony ship
cares?
where there's true no concept of midnight? Well, you see, the gremlins, they're very, very influenced by the perception of midnight. So when it is midnight on the ship, when they say it is, that's when it's not okay to feed them. They're actually very litigious like that.
Well, it's sometimes you have to. It boils down to sometimes the problem comes down to it's magic, and that's something that can be hand waved away.
Yeah, like the concept of midnight is just the magical limitation that you have, and you don't understand it, but you just know that you don't break that rule.
Yeah, right. It's an easy thing to sort of get around. Of like, you can again be pedantic as much as you want, but that's hardly an issue in the grand narrative, and it's the rules that the movie sets out, and they stick to those rules.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now my question is, granted, again, as I said in chat, I have not seen this movie since I was like, I don't know, 8 years old.
Same.
Who the hell is talking about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, where's that great Gremlins discourse going on right now, guys?
Yeah, for real, dog.
Man.
Wow, just my entire chat just flooded with Gremlins coverage.
Holy shit,
crap, man.
Oh.
Look, if you want to watch stuff this way, you can even find plot holes in this video. Why am I getting sunglasses?
Okay,
No!
wait. I got. Hold on a second. You know
You're
what,
an
Patrick?
idiot.
You know what? No, Twilight. You know what, Patrick? You are absolutely right. Okay, I'm trying to find a plot hole of. I see a bad YouTuber in one shot and the bad YouTuber in the next shot, and I'm trying to find the good one in between. Okay.
I was gonna say, like, there is no like, it is. You're not trying to present to us a narrative. You're trying to present to us an essay with background shots that show you different places. Like, that's not following an inconsistent narrative line. The only inconsistency is the quality of your fucking script.
I was going to say, we found holes in your script, so technically, yes, we have.
Also, like, unless you're living in freaking, I don't know, somewhere dangerous, like fucking, I don't know, New Jersey or something, we can make the logical inference that, like, okay, you just shot somewhere over wherever you're at, and and here you are in, like, the next thing you're filming. But you know what we can't make a logical inference on? How the fuck can a guy who had his back broken and his entire resources completely just Thanos out of existence and got shoved into a freaking hole, found his way back into a city during the timetable before the bad guys were about to blow it up? How did he do that?
HJ Fies, I'm right there with you. He should just shave it. He should just shave it all off. He tries to go.
Oh my god!
I
wasn't gonna say anything.
He tries to go for the Kevin Feige look and wears the fucking hat with the suit, but that just looks so goddamn tacky to me, dude. Just shave it. Just shave it. Go bald.
Yeah, that's some hipster energy right there.
Wait, New Jersey is dangerous? Yes.
Yeah.
Inside. I'm indoors in one shot and outdoors in the next, but we never see me go outside. Plot hole. You can find plot holes or logic.
No, that's not how that works, Patrick.
Oh boy.
No, Patrick, that is not how a plot hole works.
Your stupid video is not a narrative. It is you opening your stupid pie hole and shouting just really dumb things that barely resemble the English language at us.
You are a TED Talk on wheels. That's all you fucking are. A really shit one, too. You're not even TEDx quality, man. Guys, it's a thing called Montage. Yes, period. We know.
Also, I hate that tie with that blazer, dude. That does not look good.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Tacky. Again, he's just tacky all around.
It's the bit of the tie sticking out of the bottom that really gets me. Like, come on.
Oh,
man,
you know what
please.
really gets me? He has the top button of his shirt unbuttoned.
I was about to say, is that one even buttoned? What the fuck?
It isn't. No, my God, man.
What kind of drip is this, dog?
It's the game. Remember, Gremlins
This has
contributing
nothing
to
to
feeding after
do.
midnight. Yes.
Yes. This has nothing to do with plot holes. It just means that you have bad fashion sense, my guy.
Exactly. I'm gonna nitpick the fuck out of your fit right now, bro. But I'm not gonna pretend like it's super important. I just want to laugh at you.
Kaiser, his glasses, whack. His buttons, whack. His arguments on whack. His arguments on plot holes, whack. Us, we're tight as fuck.
Oh, damn, now I'm starting to think he's dressed like a nostalgia. Nostalgia Critic has more consistency in his fucking skits than this man does in his
honest to God.
Go right ahead. Just don't tell me that those are genuine flaws and problems and reasons that a movie is bad.
What? Depends on the context,
None
dickhead.
of these things actually matter. What? Because they're not what a movie is about.
Oh my fucking God. I forgot about this part. He's about to do that. Oh my God. It's the themes, man. It's the themes, bro.
No. Don't tell me those things are actual problems with the... Okay, then what are problems with the movie in your eyes at that point?
Because I'm going to preempt this because he's obviously going to go into the fucking themes. If the themes of the Shawshank Redemption are the nature of incarceration and freedom, then just cutting from Andy Dufresne being put in his fucking cell for the first time, and then cutting to him crawling out of the sewage pipe and rushing to the rain, or on his fucking boat at the end of the film, cleaning it and waiting for Morgan Freeman to come join him. I'm sorry, that's not the film telling me all about the nature of freedom. That's a man going from prison to a fucking yacht in 0.7 seconds, teleporting across space and time. I don't know what to take from that.
That's fucking stupid.
It's almost as if it's the B. It is the journey between A and C that is the most vital part of a fucking story, because that's the goddamn story.
Yep.
Okay, I just want to hear this guy's explanation on what a movie is. What's a movie about?
Right. What really is a movie?
Flaws and problems and reasons that a movie is bad.
A miserable little pile of secrets.
None of these things actually matter, because they're not what a movie is about. So even though most people are using the term plot hole incorrectly, all of these complaints are rooted in the same thing.
Oh no.
So wait, fuck it. So nobody understands what it means, but it's all ruining the same thing, and there's a general definition that we all fucking lose. You can suck my dick, bro. I'm so fucking tired of this.
Kaiser, you would want him to suck your dick?
Ew.
You know what?
He doesn't deserve my dick, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I was about to say. Okay, I rescind that.
I'll say logic. Logic is the issue. Oh my good sir, 1-800-273-8255 is an amazing song.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is actually?
No.
What is a film?
It's the the like I don't want to die. I don't want to die anymore.
Right. Oh my God, the Logic rap. Yeah.
It's the Logic rap. Like really good. It's the name of the song.
It's the only good song that Logic ever made.
For preference, though, Kaiser is a robot, which means his junk is electrified.
Ew.
Well, I guess he doesn't have to worry about human diseases then.
Yugok says, but the themes, man.
Logic.
But movies aren't about logic. They're not equations. They're not proofs. They're not puzzles. Movies are not math.
They can be.
Okay, then
they actually can be. I will reiterate. Primer is a fantastic fucking film. It is a goddamn puzzle to figure out what the fuck is going on in that film.
I'm just hearing him say they're not math, they're not about that, and the first thing that came to my head was, A Beautiful Mind does exist, right?
Yeah. And like that's not even getting into freaking, animated shows and stuff like that. I mean, I can bring up World Trigger until the cows freaking come home. Which all the other characters in that show are pretty logical, but they do so in interesting ways, and there's still conflict.
It's been a while since we talked about this one, but like you could also have characters that are illogical, but the way that they go about it is still follows in a logical pattern, like Peach.
Yes.
It's internally logical to
7.
it's internally logical to them. Like it's the issue that people have when writing like psychopaths or crazy people. There is a method to the madness from their perspective, and that's what a lot of people get wrong. It's not just that they'll do anything because they're crazy. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I love people trying to dissect the Joker from The Dark Knight, because there is something there. Like, the reason why he is such a memorable character is that he actually has plans within plans within plans. He's not just a random agent of chaos. There's actually a level of logic behind what he does for the purpose. He's trying to sow chaos. It doesn't mean he himself is purely chaotic.
My example would be Johan from Monster.
Yeah, 100%.
I haven't seen it.
Like,
it's
Hannibal
really good.
Hannibal Lecter type, but the general idea.
He's anime and he's German.
Let him speak.
The general idea behind it is that his from the outside perspective, nobody knows why he's doing these killings. Nobody knows why these killings are even happening. They try to ascribe like hundreds of different motives to this guy, and nobody is right until the main character confronts Johan and they have their debate. It is entirely based on Johan's perspective on the world.
Yeah, and it's part of the mystery. So the mystery is that I want to learn more about this freaking serial killer.
Yeah,
Monster's really great.
He completely shoots down the nature of mysteries altogether.
Yes.
Izanagi, oh god dang it, I feel the technicals and story are bad enough. It gets in the way of the emotions that a film wants to convey. Yes.
Indeed.
If the things propping up the theme is the top of the pyramid, everything below it needs to support it.
If I'm watching a show like Hajime no Ippo, where it's all about this kid trying to become, trying to improve himself by becoming a boxer, and we just skip from like when he starts boxing to him beating up freaking heavyweights, I would be like, what the fuck is this?
To quote something that Twi and I talked about a long time ago, and I'm going to quote Twilight directly here because it stuck with me. I don't know if she remembers that she said this, but you can't build a castle on a foundation of sand.
I mean, sure.
Yeah. That was when we were looking at Ant's video.
Yeah.
Remember that guy in your freshman dorm who would always try to guess the endings of movies so that he could prove that he was smarter than the people who made them?
No.
Was that you?
Yeah, I feel like that's some hardcore projection.
I am thinking that it was you, and you have gone full hog the opposite direction because you got shit on so much for it that you needed to somehow. Yeah, I think it's a self-report.
Yeah, this is a massive freaking self-report. Like, all of my friends that I have, we're differing levels of critical about movies and different things like that. But, like, we understand when to, like, I don't know, put that cap away when other people are not really into the conversation. Like, that's a pretty common expectation. I don't know, man.
I'm just over here just like, hey, Twi, Kaiser, Celtic, were you that asshole?
Fuck no.
Never.
Yeah, exactly. So
probably a little bit.
Movie, I suppose.
I won't deny I can get a little annoying with my analysis, but like, it's fine typically. I hope.
Yeah, like, you've gotten better over the years as we've gone through our anime nights, not having like constant commentary, and so that I would have to like pause the movie or the TV show that we're watching so that I can actually hear what you're saying even.
Okay, to be fair, I blame a part of that on your audio for whatever reason.
No.
Some of that is because like you couldn't hear me over the audio, or vice versa for whatever reason. Kept cutting one of us out.
I learned what that was on Sunday. That was an issue with my headphones audio drivers.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I got that all fixed up last night.
Woo! Oh, last night.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Well, because like we were in call doing the Kingdom Hearts back cover movie with Zero, and I heard while he was troubleshooting his issues with us not being able to hear the movie, everything was still cutting in and out, and I'm like, okay, so that's not really. I don't think that that's necessarily a Discord issue. That's probably something to do. No, I was listening to Spotify, and Spotify was cutting in and out while Zero was troubleshooting. So I'm like, okay, it's not a Discord issue. So I went and looked for what it was, and it was drivers. So yeah,
nice.
Nice. I got that. I was so proud of myself.
Problem solved.
Also, back to the small thing I want to add on to what Chad is saying, but the whole thing with like that one asshole that's like predicting everything to show he was smart. I mean, people predicting things, that's the whole that's what gives like twists and subverting expectations their power. Everyone assumes one thing to happen, but then another thing happens.
Yeah, but to be fair, I'm guessing that he's saying, oh, there are people that are going crazy about it, but it's like, do you just find these people out here in the wild? Like, fucking how, bro?
I'm just like,
Aiden, she already knows about that scene. She already knows about that scene. She's seen it. It got spoiled for her.
Yeah, like,
do I?
Zombieland Saga?
No.
I thought you've seen. I'm almost certain you've seen it. Anyway,
maybe. I don't know. We'd have to watch it.
Yeah.
But I don't know it off the top of my head. But anyway, I will say quickly to the whole like, being that one guy kind of person. Like, if I've predicted the ending to a show, I typically don't say it out loud, and I just wait and see if I'm right.
Yeah,
also,
most people don't.
I like it when a show, like, admittedly, you can always throw things a wrench into things, but I do like it when there is a level of predictability to the show. You can follow the logical through lines because that means it's well written. It's guaranteed well written.
Yeah.
Might be
Invincible's
simple.
a great example of that.
Might be quote unquote simple or one thing or another, but at the same time, like, that just shows that the audience was able to follow your story and they got a satisfaction out of like seeing where the ending was going and being excited over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of times it's not just what happens, it's how it happens.
People like feeling smart. If you treat people like they have figured something out, it's fine. It's okay. Let that person be excited that they figured it out because they feel smart. Just be like, yeah, no. Instead of being like, well, yeah, duh. Just be like, yeah, no, that makes sense. You know, I see all the connections there. Yeah, that's really smart.
It's almost
of the filmmakers.
like your
they did a good
audience
job.
is getting engaged or something.
It's almost like you should change how you engage with that person so they don't feel like they need to constantly prove themselves, and instead you join them on the journey and you both feel like you're getting something out of the fucking picture show. Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
But Patrick, no, it's not okay. I gotta treat him like sheep so I can feel smarter.
Yeah, who is this guy he's talking about? Maybe he's a decent dude.
The Game of Thrones finale wouldn't have been as bad if they weren't trying to subvert all about it.
Yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
Oh, everyone is turning into that guy. On the site movieplotholes.com, there are 7 plot holes listed for Die Hard. The first one says that the villain's plan is to stage a hostage situation so that the police will shut down power to the building, allowing them to access the vault. But since they would have already had detailed plans of the building, they could have just shut down power themselves, making the whole thing more simple.
There's several different reasons why that wouldn't have actually worked.
Also, by the way, Alan Rickman's first acting role.
Yes, it is.
Oh yeah,
and it is one of the most phenomenal villains of all time. So.
Also, I will praise him for finally showing us where some of these plot holes supposedly come from. He mentioned a website. He showed the website. He showed the plot hole. Finally, thank you for doing that nearly 6 minutes into your film.
Sources!
Halfway in.
Sorry.
I'm actually looking this up. Movieplotholes.com.
Situation. So
No, my apologies. I actually looked it up. Movieplotholes.com. Yeah, it's still up.
Okay.
Oh, it actually exists. Okay.
Yeah, it does.
All right.
Well, now
you want to like go through that one day and like look and see about them?
Let's see here. I mean, my favorite one is let's see here. There's one for Armageddon, the Bruce Willis one with Michael Bay and the Jet asteroid. Let's see here. NASA described the asteroid as the size of Texas. Such asteroid would have killed all live creatures on Earth regardless. There's Skyfall, Wrath of Khan, Die Hard, Sinister, Jack Reacher, and I haven't recognized any of the others, so I can't comment on them.
Oh, well, maybe we'll go through that one day. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Into that guy. On the site movieplotholes.com, there are 7 plot holes listed for Die Hard. The first one says that the villain's plan is to stage a hostage situation so that the police will shut down power to the building, allowing them to access the vault. But since they would have already had detailed plans of the building, they could have just shut down power themselves, making the whole thing more simple. Now, I know it seems impossible.
There's also the factor that they were planning to stage their own deaths during the entire hostage situation as caused by the police, which would then erase their entire fucking footprint and means they can get away with the money scot-free.
Gruber's plan was pretty good. The only thing that stopped him is that McClane is just such a fucking wild card that there's no way you could have predicted him.
Yeah, it's a fucking fantastically tight film. There's a reason why it has not been really beaten.
Look, it's a character acting logically. There shouldn't be any conflict. What the fuck?
To watch movies wrong, but you're watching movies wrong.
Okay.
Your hairline is wrong. Shut the fuck up. Oh my god, dog.
Oh my god, I love it.
Oh.
Hey, Patrick. I don't know how to tell you this, but like you wouldn't think that you can't make YouTube videos wrong, but you're making YouTube videos wrong. So can you like stop?
Yeah, also, I'm sorry. I don't want to hear this from the motherfucker who says, oh, this film is intended for children about freaking space wizards or whatever. It's all about the feels over reals. It's not about logic. When you're telling us logically why we're wrong. It's shitty logic, but it is logic.
I will watch this movie upside down and I will fucking enjoy myself, Patrick.
Yeah, like, it's...
Why are all these characters standing on the ceiling?
It's the same...
0 out of 10!
Well, it's the same statement that comes in, like, well, I guess if you're too busy live tweeting about plot holes, you can miss some stuff. Like, Patrick from SpongeBob greater than Patrick Willems.
Facts!
My dude, I have never live tweeted anything in my life. I actually don't like Twitter. I never have.
I don't have a Twitter.
I only spend time on there like an hour per day because I know how bad that shit is.
Ding! Characters walking on the ceiling cliche.
I spend like maybe 20 minutes a week on Twitter. And like the only reason why I even have a Twitter in the first place is because I was told that in order for me to make connections, if I was going to be in the industry as an animator, I needed to have a Twitter to network. That's the only reason why I have one.
I was about to say,
no, upside down lap
use
dance.
it to promote my shit. So it's my YouTube stuff. So it's like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We got to make an entire variant of CinemaSins, but upside down.
I have never been a social media person. I am really, really bad at doing the social media thing.
Yeah, I literally, if I get stuck on Twitter, it's because I'm scrolling through a bunch of fan art. Like that's usually what I use it for.
The majority of time that I have on Twitter is when Zero like tags me in the superhero or gaming Discord, and I see like new stuff there. That's the extent. I don't have a Twitter.
Right.
Again, like I said.
Let me put it to you like this: if I wasn't a YouTuber, I wouldn't have a Twitter.
That's probably fair.
Just straight up.
Hard is a movie about an ordinary man thrown into an impossible situation who needs to rise to the occasion and persevere so that he can reunite with his estranged wife. That's the point of the movie. That's what it's about. Most of the other
then how the fuck do you enjoy that movie?
Okay, here's a question.
None of it makes any sense.
No, here's a better question. What about the dozens of other fucking movies that copied that plot, beat for fucking beat?
And trashed it.
Absolute
fucking garbage.
Why is Die Hard so much better than them? Why is it held and revered, but all these other ones that are Die Hard but blank, like that was a huge trend for a decade. Why are those treated as lesser? Well, I'll tell you why. They're more poorly written. That's why.
You just reminded me of the fact that Daisy Ridley was started in Die Hard clone.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
Oh,
It came out like
The washer or something.
it's like
The
cleaner.
washer.
Well, she was a window cleaner or something.
Yeah, she was a ex Navy SEAL window cleaner and like or something like that.
Of course.
I was about to say, isn't that kind of like why the fucking...
I can't remember, like, it had, like, really weird mixed messaging going on, apparently. Like, whether or not we were supposed to, like, sympathize with the terrorists or something like that.
Oh my god.
Hey, yo.
You know what a really good Die Hard knockoff is? Dread.
What?
Everyone go watch Dread.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
superb.
Dread is great.
Oh, I remember Dread.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dread's really good.
I'm so pissed we never got a sequel.
Listen, Patrick, there's a reason why everyone talks about Die Hard and they never talk about the sequels.
Other than
Just
to say
straight
Die
up.
Hard was better.
Yes.
The original was better, sort of thing.
To be fair, Die Hard 3, pretty good. All right?
Which one? Die Hard 3?
Die Hard 3, Live Long or Die Free, I think it is.
Yeah, I think so.
That's the one with Samuel
Live
L.
Long or
Jackson.
Die Hard.
Oh,
Live
that
Long.
one,
Yeah.
And then there is the fourth one I thought was okay. I know people complain about that one because it gets cartoonish, but I love it. I like it still.
I mean, still a more realistic depiction of hacking than half the movies that I've seen.
Die Hard with a Vengeance, right? There's Die Hard with a Vengeance, and then there's Live Free or Die Hard, which I think is the fourth one.
Right.
For Die Hard listed on the site are variations on, why didn't John McClane do this? Well, because the whole point of John McClane is that he's a normal guy who makes human mistakes. If he did the perfect, most logical thing every single time, he wouldn't be the same character. He'd basically be a Vulcan, and the movie would end way earlier and be terrible.
No. Okay.
No. He makes every single correct choice throughout that fucking movie.
I was about to say,
like
the whole point...
he can. The only thing that you can point to is like when he kills one of the people, he writes on their thing, now I have a machine gun.
Ho, ho, ho.
Yeah, which kind of fits with his internal character flaw, which is that he's a braggadocious asshole.
He's very impulsive.
Consistent, but that doesn't like diminish his intelligence and improvisation, which keeps up the tension because now we have two people that are intelligent going at each other, just in different ways.
1 minute, 1 minute. I have to confirm something.
Dread? Is the spelling
Dread
of the
was the only
movie?
thing Addie Schenker ever did. Addie? How was he involved in this?
Oh yeah, he was a producer. Apparently.
Was he?
In March 2013, executive producer Addie Shankar said that a sequel was unlikely. Well, fuck you then.
Oh.
Good.
Then Addie is just like, yes, I'm the reason why Devil May Cry 5 sold so many copies. It was me.
I'm gonna be honest, okay? I hope that dude steps on the Lego. I really do.
Who is he?
He's the guy. He's the guy that made the Devil May Cry anime, and he's the one that very when we learned about his motives for making it, they started production on it before Devil May Cry 5, the video game, came out, and that reinvigorated the entire fan base. People love that game. It is a superb game, by the way. Highly, it's I equate the Devil May Cry series to it's like an adult version of Kingdom Hearts, and it's kind of got crazy lore and shit going on.
I would not call it an adult version of Kingdom Hearts. I'd call it a child's version of shonen anime.
I'm sorry, did I stutter?
Okay.
I'm kidding. But no, I hope we get Devil May Cry 6, but he was basically pissed that it came out.
That game came out before his anime came out.
Because he wanted to be the one to reinvigorate the Devil May Cry brand.
Yeah.
And he pissed everyone off with his adaptation, and now they can all point to, you see this fifth game over here? It's really awesome. Why didn't you just do that? And he's like, I wanted mine to do it. He was a big baby about it, and he still is.
Yeah.
See, the only thing that I have to say to people like that is, your existence is still just as irrelevant as ever.
Honest to God, because nobody's talking about the anime anymore. Everybody hated it. Fans of the games absolutely trashed it, including me. And no one's.
So I remember Shankar did that god awful adult Power Rangers fan film. Was he involved in Power/Range? Oh my God!
Hey,
was he?
What?
Power/Rangers.
While you're looking that up, is DMC an action RPG? No, it's an action hack and slash. Like the whole point is just you're in an arena and you're beating the shit out of everybody and looking really cool. Like it's the entire game system is built around how stylishly you can beat the shit out of the demons around you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because every single one of the main characters is disgustingly overpowered.
Yes.
He played Billy's husband.
Who?
Addy Shanker, whatever you pronounce his name as. He produced this Power / Ranger pseudo, an unauthorized superhero fan film based on Power Rangers. He played Billy's husband. Like,
what the fuck?
As a side character.
Okay.
That's a choice, I guess. Okay. But
that's random. All right.
Yeah. That was such an. I remember that. That was so edgy. It was so painfully
never
edgy.
Heard of this.
Don't think I remember that existing, but
oh, that may be a thing we all have to watch together.
Oh, shit, okay.
No.
I remember liking Power Rangers. I like Power Rangers.
Yeah, Power Rangers is good. This was like
Raymond.
What?
Speaking of Power Rangers.
Oh. Oh no.
No. Not me out here crying like the wife of what's his face from It in the original TV. No.
Oh, I thought you were channeling the Emperor Palpatine there.
No, because that's like confrontational. That's not me. That's not me flinching in fear.
Gotcha.
But I was gonna say, like, Power / Rangers is basically what an edgy teenager thinks an adult Power Ranger should look like.
Okay.
It is exactly what you think it is.
Oh my god. Okay.
Oh gosh, what was that one fanfic called? Never mind.
What?
I can't think of it. Yeah, Agony in Pink. Thank you, Nameless.
Agony in Pink.
Oh, was that the one where?
Don't.
Okay. Yeah.
Don't look it up.
It's the one that I think it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Right.
Yeah. Kelly doesn't. That's not a fun time for her.
Yeah. Don't. If you don't know it, then don't look it up. Trust me.
Okay. I will
all
follow
right.
your advice.
The climax of the story, Harry reaches the Triwizard Cup, which turns out to have been turned into a port key, and the movie would end.
Hold up, what?
I was going to say, now we're talking about Harry Potter. When did that start?
That's a good question. Let's see.
That's because Raymond didn't pause it right when he went on. He finished talking about that and went on to Harry Potter, and then Raymond didn't, and then Raymond paused it.
It's not my fault. His video's bad.
Also,
look
Harry
what you
Potter,
did, Patrick. You gave him psychic damage.
Look, there's a lot of things that you can say bad about Harry Potter's plot and world building. It's 100% the characters.
Celtic Phoenix, you're watching the video wrong.
Oh my god.
Also, who did this art?
This is the same person that did the You're Devolving. It's Dai Gato with the caption of "He's crying."
Oh god, he's crying. I love you put me in the organization jacket. That's great.
A leaked scene from Kingdom Hearts 4, everybody.
I fucking knew it.
It's Xernum. I used to know what Raymond was in the name I would give Raymond.
Oh yeah, as a nobody, yeah.
As a nobody. All right, let's see where he's going with this.
And way earlier and be terrible. Take Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. At the climax of the story, Harry reaches the Triwizard Cup, which turns out to have been turned into a port key that transports him to Voldemort. So the villain's whole plan hinged on Harry being the one to get to the cup first and win the tournament. But really, any random object could have been turned into a port key, and they could have sent him to Voldemort way earlier without all that hassle. But that doesn't matter.
It's about sending a message.
Well, two things about that. One, the ritual for Voldemort wasn't ready yet, and I can't remember who was the person. I just see him as David Tennant in my head.
Barty Crouch? that right?
Yeah, Barty Crouch Jr. was
Barty
the one
Crouch
that.
Jr.
Yeah, it was Barty Crouch Jr. Barty Crouch Jr. like tricked and like cheated to get Harry the win. So he effectively was just stalling for time right before they absolutely needed it for the ritual to get Voldemort back. And again, I have a lot of issues with Harry Potter. The chapter where Voldemort comes back, by the way, is called Flesh, Blood, and Bone, and it's a picture of Wormtail literally holding an arm that he just cut off, and he's about to throw it into a cauldron. It's metal as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
So there is an
so
explanation for this.
Yeah.
It's been so
watching
long
movies
since
wrong.
I've read these books, and yet I still remember so much about them.
We got Teddy Bear Paladin, more battle in the Uprising. Princess Ari the Fourth. It was another boring stroll through the capital when this bold young man came shouting towards my carriage. I could tell from his dorky robes he was some kind of mage.
They needed the ingredients, and the day was specific. Yes, it was.
Yes.
Like the entire ritual is that Voldemort and his followers were effectively trying to get through Harry's like love protection, and the past 3 movies kind of proved you can't exactly brute force that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Nope.
So you're telling me that the villain was smart and they came up with a countermeasure, and so we had conflict. Interesting.
Yeah.
And
like, you can criticize the movie because the movie didn't do a very good job at adapting the books. However, the books themselves are fairly solid in that logical progression for that particular element.
there are a lot of funny memes of Barty Crouch Jr. going like, okay, this is the first test. Pass him that book there, Potter. Touches the book and he gets teleported there.
Yeah. But okay, so
luckily the TV will fix that.
It isn't.
Well, okay, so real talk. How optimistic or pessimistic on the HBO show?
Oh, I'm putting my money on like 35% optimistic, the rest pessimistic.
I don't care.
Yeah, about that. Like I haven't been following that at all, but I have seen some people talking about the casting choices and how, you know, they cast a black man to be Snape.
So
the guy who was severely bullied by Harry's father.
So by the way, I think we've said this. Actually, we've said this joke before, either on stream or off it, Twi. But so they're gonna make a black man be called the Half-Blood Prince.
Yes. Why would you do that?
No fucking way, bro.
I don't condone that joke. I just want to say it.
I like, and I also know that Hermione's actress is darker, but I'm not actually like.
Oh, whatever.
I'm not miffed about like. I could see people being miffed about it with the play, which was supposed to be an official continuation, sort of the original films or the original books, where she was described. But this is them basically going back to the beginning and just changing things, which is fine.
Well, no, the problem is that they specifically said that this is supposed to be a more book accurate version.
Yeah.
So like, why are you randomly changing characters' races and stuff when it's supposed to be book accurate? If you did not say that it was meant to be book accurate, then I don't think anyone would really have a problem with it.
I just feel bad for the actor. The shit that he's gonna have to go through. I just feel bad for him already.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, there are plenty of wizards that I don't think get described with their skin colors. There's also Shacklebolt, who is, I think, canonically a black man. So, like, unfortunately, he doesn't appear until like later in the series. But you could like add some things to the series to add him in earlier.
I heard Black Snape got fired. Same. What?
I haven't heard that.
I've not heard that. I feel like that would be a huge controversy.
Yeah, I assume Neil's saying same to me, and like I feel bad about the actor.
Black Snape
bad for the actor.
Fired.
What
who was rumored to be siblings who has been fired due to public. What?
Wait, what?
Oh no!
Wait, sorry. There's a circulating rumor. Okay, all right.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
okay.
rumor.
That's it.
Like, I I don't think that he should be Snape, but it's still really sad if he would get fired over something like this. Like, I would say maybe cast him in a different role, in a role that might be more fitting for him.
Make him Dumbledore! So honestly, a fucking Frederick Douglass looking motherfucker with like the big bushy,
hard.
That would be so fucking badass. Oh my god, like
cool,
cornrows for in his hair. Like I could go so badass.
To add, so something that I've
or dreads or something. Yeah.
Small tangent to bring this up actually. When I was in school, I headed over to Uganda just to help out. We built a school over there, and one of the people that was helping us was one of the elders of the village that we were building next to. And this guy was like 5 foot nothing, but the man was built like fucking Whitebeard, and we called him Whitebeard as a joke because he had a huge bushy white beard that like went down to his chest. But like no, like seriously, the guy was like jacked as all fuck to the point where there was like 50-pound cement bags that me and a friend we carried that. We used that for training. We watched this guy with one hand pick up a cement bag, put it on his shoulder, pick up another cement bag, put it on his shoulder, pick up another cement bag, put it on his shoulder, and another cement bag, put him on his shoulder, and he just walked normally.
Wow.
Fuck, dude.
Oh yeah, and also make his brother white, and I'd just be hilarious.
Oh no.
Just never explain it. They're brothers. They're blood brothers. Just never explain it.
No, bro gave me some good advice, Titan. Bro gave me some great advice.
I was gonna say that is a man you listen to, all right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're so invested in Harry trying to figure out a way to win, and then so surprised by the reveal of the port key and Voldemort returning, that to pick apart the logic of the villain's plan would mean totally disengaging from the story.
Then what's the fucking point?
Well, number one, no, you are engaging in the story by looking at the internal logic. And if you find that the internal logic doesn't work, that's the film's fault, not me. I'm sorry. It's not my fault that you don't do your homework.
You have to look at the books for adaptations like this, because that could just be the film's fault. It doesn't have anything to do with the problem of the plot of the story itself. It could be the way that it was adapted that is the problem.
Yeah, and that's a valid fucking complaint to have for
also,
someone who's only familiar with the movie.
It's like, and my question is, then what's the point of watching the fucking film? Just tell me the themes. Tell me the end game you want to say, man, wouldn't it be cool if Voldemort was resurrected through Harry Potter's blood and he was tricked into going there? Just say that. You can just say that and end it in 5 minutes. What was the point of the entire fucking film? Like, are you telling me that I'm wasting my time watching this movie?
We also just had a conversation where we talked about, hey, this makes a lot of sense and the individual pieces are actually really cool. Looking into the story actually boosted the enjoyment overall.
Yes. If freaking themes and shit are all we need in order for a story to be good, fucking Facebook messages would be literary masterpieces and everyone would be going to church.
Okay, I don't know about you, but my Facebook messages.
Oh my god.
all right. Balinor Uprising, Gathering Tinders Part 5, Ari the Fourth. He wanted an audience with the Queen to petition directly on behalf of the Fire Witch Coven. I thought one thing, oh mother is going to hate him. A good start in my book. Ooh. Watch my reviews as I tell you the themes of these movies so you don't have to pay money in theaters. Yeah, effectively. It's like finding raw chicken in your Caesar salad and the chef is like, you don't get the intent of my dish. Stop. You gave me bad food. Your intent is meaningless. I mean, the food analogy will never stop being fucking meaningful. It's like,
exactly. Yo, think of the point of there being a fucking fly in your goddamn steak.
This, like so many plot holes, are things that would just destroy any conflict or drama and end the story immediately. Like, sure, to an objective, omniscient viewer, it would make logical sense for Admiral Haldo to tell Poe Dameron her plan. And then there would be no conflict and no drama.
Oh, no.
No, there's still a conflict because they're still being attacked by the fucking Empire.
Yes!
What the fuck are you talking about?
Well, this is the worst part
about it. That fly was subjective.
the idea of just like, oh, why didn't they do X, Y, or Z? The whole thing where they point out a plot hole, like, well, you can't have, like, we can't worry about that plot hole because without that, we couldn't have the story to happen. And like, so.
Well, then your movie wasn't that good. Then sorry, not sorry. Okay.
Also, guys, just be mindful. This was released in the wake of TLJ. This is ostensibly a TLJ defense video. So be prepared for more TLJ references to come here.
Yeah, I will begrudgingly accept it.
Hey, we can blame Patrick for that either way.
Look, one day we'll see a commentary of Rise of Skywalker, and it'll be way more entertaining because we can all hate it. It won't be the same fucking film. Neither have I. I just need to know they fly now.
They fly now.
Would never send Finn on a mission, and Finn would never grow, and Poe would for Admiral Holdo to tell Poe Dameron her plan. And then there would be no conflict and no drama. Poe would never send Finn on a mission, and Finn would never grow, and
Finn didn't grow, though.
Finn didn't grow. Also, that mission was completely fucking pointless and only served to get them captured.
Yeah. Like the entire thing of like there'd be no conflict and no drama. Well, you're kind of right in the sense that there wouldn't be conflict between Poe and everyone else, because the second that Poe hears about the plan, he says this might actually work. So he's on board with it the second he's told. Yeah,
and you know what you would do then? Have the antagonists actually have a countermeasure for that plan so that they succeed. Yeah, they did that. So, like, that's tension enough. Just do that.
Oh, you have to understand. They had anti-cloaking scans.
I still like Jones for the day that it turns out Rose Tico is a spy. like I genuinely speaking, I think a major fix to the TLJ could be that Rose Tico just realizes, hey, these are the most effective members of the resistance, and I'm going to keep them fucking busy on a goose chase. And like it would be revealed either at the end of this film or during the subsequent one that she's been a spy for the First Order this entire time.
Yeah, Cameron Bailey, Finn versus Phasma was so wasted. Why build up the fight just to do nothing with it? I mean, everyone says the one stormtrooper that screamed traitor should have been Phasma.
Yes. Even then, that wouldn't be enough, but it's better than nothing.
Correct. Yeah. Well, it's an easy thing where, like, Finn gets his ass kicked by Phasma. That's round 1. Later in the trilogy, round 2, motherfucker.
Exactly.
Simple stuff like that.
I don't even think that the idea of not telling him in order to teach him a lesson in being able to just follow orders or to trust in his superiors because they know what they're actually fucking doing. I don't think that that's even necessarily a bad thing to do. Like, it's just these little niggling things that just don't make sense, that kind of just crack the foundations of the entire thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, Orange Man, I know Literature Devil made a video on TLJ. He's made a lot of coverage of the Star Wars series. I know about it. I've seen quite a bit of it.
TLJ started a lot of YouTube careers, for better or worse.
Ugox, the conflict of everyone else around Finn still happens without Finn being there. Yes.
Yeah, they're still being chased by a fleet, and they're about to die. So
never grow, and there would be no story. And also, Holdo explains why she doesn't tell him the plan. She doesn't trust him. He just f***ed up and got demoted. She has no reason to.
There's a lot of different defenses to that. There's a lot that goes into what Poe did and why it was one of the most fucking heroic things he could have done, and why him getting demoted is bullshit.
I mean, unironically, if he hadn't done that with the Dreadnought, nobody would be here complaining about it, because the Dreadnought would have just killed the
entire
fleet. The capital ship is.
Yeah.
Again, if you think this is a plot hole, or you're annoyed because of the logic here, you're kind of watching movies wrong. There's an episode of the show Community that imagines what a horror movie would look like if all the characters only made totally logical decisions.
Should we go check it out?
No. We should call 911 on my fully charged cell phone, lock the doors, and then stand back to back in the middle of the room holding knives.
Okay, so this is a joke, but I'm going to bring up Alien again, because they do a lot of logical things based on the information they have, but they can't count for everything that the xenomorph can do, so it's still a horror movie.
It also doesn't account for various different types of horror movie. Like,
yes.
Okay, here's one. Scream typically has 2 killers in their stories. So 2 people versus 2 people, the 2 killers can break in and attack you, and they can do it through different means. What if the killer has a gun? What if, like, there's any number of different counters to this setup? It's a good joke. It's a great gag, but it's not a serious deconstruction of a horror film.
Community's hilarious.
Your cell phone being fully charged doesn't mean dick if you have no cell service.
Yeah.
And like back in like 10, 20 years ago when cell service wasn't as good as it was back then, like that only works in America maybe because America has
not even
cell
then.
Service everywhere.
I was going to say we had a cell tower down the hill from my house, but if you go into that valley where the cell tower fucking is, you would have no connection. For the longest time we would drop calls going from our house to the fucking supermarket. It was really annoying.
And like that's what I was gonna say, because like I live in a very mountainous area. I live in British Columbia where there's mountains fucking everywhere. You go outside of town, you are going to lose cell service. Raymond, you have been with me, like not physically, but like in Discord when I have been able to be, I was just unavailable, just unable to contact you at all for hours on end because we were on a road trip. And for multiple hours, we were just against mountains and we were unable to contact each other.
Yeah, you went quiet. And I'm like, wow, Twi's been really quiet. I hope everything's okay. And then it's like, oh yeah, no, I'm just traveling. It's like, okay. People point out, like fucking John Carpenter's The Thing, one of the best written horror movies of all time. They do everything fucking right that they possibly can, and it still ends in absolute disaster for them.
Also, Predator.
Yeah,
Predator is also great. For the record, all these are on our list together, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, another one too. I just wanted to highlight this from chat. Angry Brony. Any supernatural slasher throws this plan out the window.
Yes,
pretty much. 100% correct.
Jason. Yeah. Jason's not gonna give a fuck. Fucking Freddy Krueger doesn't even get you in the physical realm.
Any like Lovecraft type horror.
Oh, Chucky, like Child's Play.
No, this would defeat Chucky. This would defeat Chucky.
I mean, every time I think about Chucky, it's just the POV. You're in a slasher movie, and I just remember that guy like throwing Chucky down on the ground and then shooting him.
Okay, fair. Also, Final Destination doesn't give a damn. You're right, rival.
Disaster movies count.
Yeah, I'll be great to see how this fares against a fucking volcano.
or Sharknado.
Sharknado.
Yeah, I was gonna say, technically speaking, these guys have defeated Jaws.
Yeah.
Congratulations, guys! You beat Jaws by standing on firm, solid ground and not going into the water.
Smile, you son of a.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Patrick. This is not a catch-all, motherfucker.
Titan or Godzilla.
Show me where the irrational characters are in fucking Jaws. All right? Everyone has a very good reason for doing what they do throughout that entire film. They are fighting a force of nature that is a shark.
I mean, the illogical character, I'm just making a joke about the actor. The actor who did one of the famous monologue was like fucking dead drunk when he did it.
Oh my god.
It's still fantastic performance. I mean, accurate.
Oh, yes. I'm not going to deny that. I'm just making a joke.
And the conclusion is that it would be really boring.
Okay,
I'm in no way telling
one
you.
last thing. Because I've seen this episode of Community. The point of it is that every single one of them is pitching a different thing for a different type of horror movie. Like this one is like the hyper accurate one that's super boring. Another one's like hyper cliche. Another one is like completely unexpected and you can't follow it at all. They're making examples of bad horror movies and why like certain things just don't work.
Happy 50th anniversary to Jaws.
Oh really?
Oh wow, didn't know that.
Cool.
Here's the thing though about the really boring one. That's not the fault necessarily of the premise of the story. That's the fault of the imagination of the storyteller.
Correct.
Yeah,
because
that is the point.
Yeah, like we talked about how those things can be circumvented. We just did.
Yeah.
For the record, we are 2 days off from it. Actually, it's this Friday. That's the 20. It's the 50th anniversary of the film,
The original blockbuster.
which is the original blockbuster. Which, holy crap, that is nicely convenient for talking point.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
Man, I'll rewatch
okay,
it then.
Hellraiser, motherfucker. Hellraiser's a great example of this because people seek out the fucking Hellraiser box for, debauched reasons. They want the ultimate pleasure that it brings because they don't know any better. They open it and they get dragged to hell. And then the rest of the series is about people trying not to get dragged to hell. It's like people make very logical choices after realizing, oh shit, I'm going to hell.
Wish Upon. If you've ever seen that.
I've not.
Oh my god.
It's a horror movie where it's a horror movie where the monster is basically the genie of the lamp. Where you have to make your wishes, and then like the final wish will be monkey pawed into killing you somehow, and then one of the main characters gets the wish, and like one of her wishes was kill yourself, and he says gladly. The entity takes a gun and literally just shoots himself in the head, and it's one of his famous lines, like that which is magical cannot die. But if it's any consolation, Saris, that hurt like hell.
Balinor Uprising, Gathering Tinder Part 6, Ari the Fourth. The guards wanted to kick him to the curb. I formally invited him to the palace. He accepted with earnest hope to be heard. It was a delightfully infuriating evening for Mother. Ooh.
Dang.
Yo, how
Wishmaster.
How crazy is this mage guy?
To turn your brain off or to not think critically about...
In the middle of the room holding knives.
And the conclusion is that it would be really boring. I am in no way telling you to turn your brain off or to not think critically about movies. Not at all. I'm saying you should worry about the things that actually matter. So...
you're gonna have to elaborate on that.
Very elaborate.
Because okay, let's go back to the beginning with the whole A Quiet Place. Why they don't live next to a place where they would ostensibly never be heard by the monsters again is a legitimately good question that's never directly addressed.
Yes.
It's like, I'm no way saying this. To quote James from the chat, you're saying that, but your video is saying otherwise, and I completely concur.
It's the theme of your video is telling me that, Patrick.
Yeah, exactly, dog.
You're watching
this
movies
is some
wrong.
two-faced bullshit. This is obviously a defensive, freaking video, because I don't know who the hell is telling you these sorts of things or whatever. Let's be honest, the bulk of this is because of the freaking Last Jedi. I'm sorry, dude. People don't fucking like it. Whether or not you think it's right or wrong, you gotta fucking deal with that. It's not just because of freaking plot holes.
There are things to praise in The Last Jedi. There's a lot of things actually you can praise in The Last
actually
Jedi.
enjoy The Last Jedi because it is well shot, very well acted, and there are some there are elements to the writing that I can appreciate, even if I think as a whole and together they are a fucking mess. I can appreciate a lot about that film, even if I hate it.
Still not a good movie.
Yeah. Also, this brings a really good question. Tell me, Patrick, what does matter in a story, actually?
The themes.
What were you going to say, Twi?
Oh, I was going to say, Raymond, you literally just said, I like the film, and then you said, even though I hate it.
Well, you see, Twi, humans aren't logical.
Look, the lines between the two can be very blurry.
Some would say that they are they are different sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
The line between naivety and stupidity is almost invisible.
Take Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Oh no.
I think it's a bad movie, and it has big old dumb logic issues. Why can Superman locate Lois Lane from her heartbeat, but can't find his mother the same way?
What's the issue then, dude? This is just a plot
hole.
Wait
for it. Wait for it.
Oh no.
This is a really good one.
Oh no.
Why doesn't Wonder Woman, who isn't affected by kryptonite, be the one to use the spear against Doomsday? But those aren't the real problems with the movie. The actual problem...
Okay. Only one character. Yeah, I'm sorry. Like the stakes of the story are that the mother is captured by thugs who are going to kill her if she doesn't get out of that circumstance, and Superman doesn't follow through with what Lex wants. I'm sorry, that seems like an important detail. It seems like it could be made a moot point. I'm sorry, Superman using the goddamn kryptonite spear instead of Wonder Woman ends up killing him because he has to dive in close and get stabbed by what's his face? Doomsday. I'm sorry.
Or actually, no, he's not Doomsday. He's an orc from Moria.
Yeah, he's the orcs day.
Hashtag.
I'm sorry. Superman dies as a result of one of those choices. If that's not important, I don't know what is.
There's some. I am one of the weird DC nerds that actually doesn't overly care for the death of Superman with how it's presented. That being said, the whole theme of what Doomsday is and how he fits into the Superman story is like they didn't build it up at all, because in the original comic for Doomsday, he goes through the Teen Titans, the B Team, every other member of the Justice League, and then Superman shows up. And then it's the whole thing of just like Superman pushes himself, but Doomsday just won't go down, so he keeps going. And this is something that I have to praise about a fanfic version of the death of Superman had a bit where Superman was like on his last legs, breathing hard. Doomsday was right there. They have to keep fighting, and in his mind, Superman is saying, "Don't worry, Pa, your boy still has a bit of fight left in him."
That's good. That's good.
Like just
Doomsday is the original Saiyan arc. Yes.
Yeah,
for real.
Unironically, yes.
Zod plus Orc equals Zork.
Zork. Yeah, Doomsday is the monster that can take everything that Superman can throw out and dish it back. Like he is the ultimate stopgap for the Man of Tomorrow, and that's the whole thing.
What was the Yu-Gi-Oh bridge joke? Was it Bakura and Zork? Bakura and Zork! I'm sorry, but I have destroyed the world with my giant dragon penis.
Oh my god.
No, you say oh my god, but trust me, that's real.
Yeah, I know that's real. I've seen that Brit series and I've seen that.
I was gonna say
Zork and Pals, that's it.
A much different character, but Bakura and Bakura. That's an interesting pairing.
But I wanted to quickly comment on the first thing about like, why can't Superman find Lois through her heartbeat and not find his mom? I mean, that's also important too, because you know what that does, Patrick? It gives us the Batman v Superman and Batman v Superman. Lex Luthor held his mom hostage to make him fight Batman. The point of the fucking film.
It also gave us one of the best Batman fight scenes ever, and I will stand by that. The bad movie, but holy shit!
It's fucking brutal.
Yeah, I fucking love that shit. And
if we're talking about the point of the film matters more, that's a plot hole that directly fucks with the entire point of that movie.
And the best part about it is that gets turned into a joke in the DC comics, where Superman's talking to Lois in some of the newer renditions of DC. Sorry for this tangent, but I think you'll find it funny. He says, "I have an ear out for several people. You, our son, Lex," and then Lois says, "Bruce, especially Bruce."
No, it's Zork and Zack and Cody. Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot. All right.
Problems are that many of the central characters are totally static and poorly motivated, and they don't learn anything or grow through the story, and the one major moment of growth is caused by a ridiculous plot contrivance.
Wait, those are the issues? Sorry, one minute.
Why does
Wonder Woman, who isn't affected by kryptonite, be the one to use the spear against Doomsday? But those aren't the real problems with the movie. The actual problems are that many of the central characters are totally static and poorly motivated, and they don't learn anything or grow through the story, and the one major moment of growth is caused by a ridiculous plot contrivance. So as much as I enjoy making fun of...
But, okay, first of all, the plot contrivance is the thing you just dismissed!
Yes.
Well, yeah, part of it actually, it leads up to the plot contrivance, so you wouldn't have the plot contrivance if you didn't have the plot hole that you fucking missed. But then on top of that, motherfucker, you can still have static characters. Jack Sparrow isn't exactly a dynamic character. He's a dynamic person, but he's not. He doesn't change throughout his journeys. He's always the same aloof kind of crazy dude. But he's always entertaining. You don't need to be a ever-changing, ever-growing character that learns a vital life lesson at the end of the story to be a good character. You can be a static character. It's fine.
Yes.
If anything, being a flat character is a different story.
Yeah, that's the.
You gotta make sure you have. You gotta pad your bras.
Oh boy.
Exactly.
And retroactively, it's kind of funny that he brings up the whole, because I just remembered this, that why doesn't one woman who isn't affected by kryptonite do it? Well, by the laws of the Snyderverse, she should be affected by kryptonite because Zeus is a Kryptonian.
Wait, what?
What?
Yeah, and Zack Snyder's. Oh, you guys don't know about this. Zack Snyder's plans for the DCEU or what have you, he revealed a few of them. One of them was that the Greek gods are Kryptonians.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh my god!
No, I'm not at all.
I'm glad we don't got
another
it.
Another one was that Bruce slept with Lois. They had a child, and that child
I knew about that.
I knew about that. Got genetically changed into being like the next Superman or Batman or what have you.
I need to ask about the fucking like wasn't Wonder Woman crafted from clay?
Yeah.
So Kryptonians can just fucking do that?
Magic?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Wait, how? Okay, wait.
The Amazons were descendants of Kryptonians, but because they weren't quote unquote pure Kryptonian, they weren't as strong.
How did Ares do all that magic bullshit?
I have an answer. The sun is a deadly laser.
He telekinetically made arms and armor out of fucking tanks.
Listen, Raymond, when a alien and a wizard love each other very much.
Some dumb logic gaps in that movie, they still don't really matter.
The plot holes. Remember the plot holes? So you're trying to tell me the supremacy, Snoke's ship, isn't powerful enough to penetrate the shields.
In episode 2F09, when Ichi plays Scratchy's skeleton like a
Wait, let him
xylophone,
finish.
he strikes the same rib twice in...
What?
No, I was just saying, let Angry Joe fucking finish, dog. What the fuck?
Succession, yet he produces two clearly different tones.
Those are different plot holes.
So,
what the fuck?
He's making a false equivalence here.
Yeah, false equivalence.
Yeah. By saying that he's trying to dismiss Angry Joe by saying that he is just like that guy in that joke episode of The Simpsons. By saying he's just nitpicking that, by having a animation error being like this really big thing. Where that's not what he's talking about at all.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Two different musical notes being played on the same xylophone fucking skeleton is not the equivalent of why can the capital ship of a fleet that has so much fucking energy and resources behind it not take down one ship that is like 15 times smaller than it.
The whatever the name of the ship was that was Snoke's flagship. 2 million people were on that, by the way.
Supremacy, yeah.
2 million people, by the way.
Sky Slasher plot hole. Wasn't that the Nostalgia Critic movie? Yes.
Oh my god.
Wait, what? Oh, that one. Yeah.
That was the fourth one.
Right.
To Boldly Flee.
Yep.
To Boldly Flee.
It has always been this way.
He's gonna blame Reddit.
It has always. Oh no, he's serious. Oh no, Twy, it's like Joris in the first season of Wakfu, where every time you get a look at his face, it's like the most intimidating fucking thing on the planet. You need to understand, Joris is this tiny little like. The only way I can describe it, he kind of looks like a humanoid ant. He's kind of adorable.
Okay.
He's like this little dude, but like, and in the movie Dofus, he's actually a kid, and you get to see his journey. But like by the time you reach him in walkthrough, which is hundreds of years later, he's this really well-seasoned like adventurer. So every time he's like observing things from a distance, we get this close-up of his face, and it's the most intense, like, I'm scrutinizing everything you do look I've ever fucking seen. It's like so intimidating. Like he's staring into your fucking soul. And it's like, dude, I saw you like playing fucking playing fucking woofball, yeah. Goofball.
Or gobball, depending on which.
Gobble. That's it. Gobble.
Oh my god, that reminds me of a joke from Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. If you remember that show, of like a joke that like scarred me as a kid. Like
all the dude, that's the close-ups in that fucking show are like,
it was the one of them in particular was like Flapjack saves this mermaid, and this mermaid in this like really cutesy voice is just like, so keep going, Flapjack, and all your dreams will come true, even the scary ones. Ha 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 ha. Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
The super close up, this super deep voice just says yes.
That show is such nightmare fuel, and I love it.
Alex Hirsch.
Mm-hmm. Is it that in the 80s or 90s or early 2000s, no one really cared about plot holes? They still existed, but no one ever complained a movie was bad because of all the plot holes.
Yes, they did. Fucking Roger Ebert used plot holes regularly, citing in his fucking reviews.
Sir, where have you been? How old are you? Did you just come out of the womb looking like this and you were born last Tuesday?
I was about to say, this motherfucker is definitely older than me. How the hell do I know that people complained about this before this shit?
I literally just said when I was 12 years old back in 2002, in the 2000s, that I was making complaints like this.
Yeah, like
Digimon.
I'm going to give an example from what people called my based Dune dad, the first Dune movie by, I believe, Denis Villeneuve. Oh, David Lynch. Sorry, I was like, damn, Villeneuve's the original, was the new one. David Lynch, the original. We watched it together. We kind of liked it. It's like classic 80s romp. We both enjoyed it. Then he sat down. Then he ranted for an hour and a half about why it was bad and all the issues that it had.
Yeah.
And I was enthralled.
I know. Here's the thing.
Yes.
Your dad doesn't exist.
Holy shit, no. It was this, oh my god, the spice melange. It just gave me a vision. He's like, no, you first, please.
Sorry. I was just gonna ask, like, does this guy not remember all of the people bitching and whining about the sequel series for Star Wars?
The prequels.
Yeah, the prequels.
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
I don't remember which is which anymore, man.
Okay, that's fair. But what gets me about this particular frame, like, have you guys seen? This is like super. I'm not wrong in saying this is like hyper pretentious, right?
You're absolutely not wrong. 100%. This is very, very pretentious. Like he looks like he's about to drop the hottest truth on all of us, but he's saying some absolute bullshit. Yeah. And that hairline is still fucked up. Don't worry, that shadow won't help you. That shadow won't save you. I can still see it.
Yeah, like guy, my man. Speaking from experience, watching a good chunk of his family do this. If you have like a really bad hairline, own being bald. You look a lot better, personally. Like there's a lot of guys out there can own that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Hi. Also, I'm back. All right. Okay. Now let's learn the deep truths of this man's statements.
Right.
Oh boy.
So what? Basically, the thousands, no one really cared about plot holes. They still existed, but no one ever complained a movie was bad because of all the plot holes. So what happened?
Everything changed when the internet attacked.
Because I like driving myself insane, I searched back through Google year by year for references to plot holes. Until about 2007, they only appeared in movie reviews and forum posts.
Oh,
they hadn't gone
sure.
They only appeared in movie reviews!
You mean the things
Do you hear yourself?
Now? You mean the things we're using now?
What? Oh my god, man!
I'm looking at the bottom right here. What exactly were KOTOR 2's plot holes? IGN. KOTOR 2.
2006.
The most beloved game in the entire franchise, and people found some plot holes in it and talked about it.
Coincidence? Well, as one trained in the Force, you know that true coincidences are rare.
Seawits, I wanted to say this when it was relevant, but Adi Shankar also made a few Blaze Blue posts, which lit a fury in the fandom.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh yeah, that too. He said he wanted to actually adapt that at some point. And they're all like,
back
the fuck
I'm
off.
torn between my hatred of Blaze Blue and my hatred of Adi Shankar. You know what? I will olive branch this to the Blaze Blue fans. You don't deserve that man. All right? I don't understand you, but you don't deserve a man that doesn't understand you even more.
He wanted to make a Metal Gear series?
Yes! Yes, he said that on Twitter. He said on Twitter he wants to make a Metal Gear series, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, no. I don't even, the guy that I want to make the Metal Gear series, I don't even trust. He's the guy that made Kong Skull Island. He wants to make a Metal Gear series, and I trust him way more than Adi Shankar.
I mean, oh my god, I just
given his attachment to Capcom franchises, Kaiser better be worried. He better not touch Mega Man.
Oh, he's coming.
If he touches him, you know what? Actually, I'm resigned that there's never going to be a good Resident Evil adaptation. So you know what? I'm
And also, just this like, what changed? Well, the internet, and the first thing that came to my head. Well, we did it, Reddit.
So Seawit says I wanted to say when it was relevant. I had to worry about that. And then we have Teddy Bear Paladin, A Doll and Her Lady, Part 7. Elegant Doll. Once Big Cub and R Cub brushed my hair together. Action Girl Figure. Sounds boring. Elegant Doll. There were others, of course. Action Girl Figure. Were they boring too? Elegant Doll. They were less fun than you. Oh. And then Yugok says, IG movie reviews didn't exist before the internet. Yep.
Yeah, I guess so.
My gosh.
Like, I'm sorry. If people were talking about plot holes in the most popular freaking video game of the Star Wars franchise in 2006, there's no doubt in my mind people were talking about that way before the internet.
Yeah, and not to mention, there's a lot of sites that are dead by that point because Internet 1.0 gave way to Internet 2.0. What you're picking up is probably the fucking dregs of what remains from 1.0 that have been lost to time.
Yes.
100%.
Driving myself insane, I searched back through Google year by year for references to plot holes. Until about 2007, they only appeared in movie reviews and forum posts. They hadn't gone fully mainstream yet. They hadn't been embraced by the public.
So what you're complaining about isn't that people are talking about plot holes. It's that it's now everyone is better informed that there is a different level of critical thought that they can use, that there's a word for the issues that they have with films, and they can better isolate the problems they have with the story. That's what you're complaining about. It's you being better informed.
Yes.
So hang on. I have a question.
Please answer.
How do you know that people only talk about plot holes on forums and in movie reviews when that's all that the internet really is at this point?
Yes.
Like,
that's why I say
you can't just go back in time.
Now?
You can't just go back in time and listen to a person's random in real life conversation, my dude.
Yeah.
And also, who said that, like, wasn't Roger Ebert, like, pointing out issues with movies by pointing out plot holes?
Yeah.
I should also point out here, Google didn't really start taking off as a, like, regularly visited thing until about 2004. Yeah. Like, Google marks the transition over into the Web 2.0. Like, that's really where, because you started making it much quicker to access sites randomly. So their data might not be as well researched before that point. They might not have access to all those things. So
the creation of different things and just changing things, like, I'll put things into perspective. Fanfiction.net is older than I am.
Yeah.
Yes. And before that, there were other sites. AO3
Exactly.
used to be a different site and it got malformed. don't forget that, you know, Twitch used to be, what is it, Justin TV or something like that?
Justin TV, yeah.
Yeah, it's like things malform and change over time, and things get lost in the transitions, Patrick.
Yes. Dude, I want to highlight this, something that Neil says in chat. It's Patrick wanting to be the tastemakers. That's the problem with these essayists like him. They want to dictate the terms of the conversation, determine the taste. Well, that will never happen. Damn fucking straight it doesn't. This is what this has always been. This is why we kept mentioning Chris Stuckman before and other reviewers like these assholes. They're absolute fucking pussies who want to be a part of the clique, the in-group of Hollywood, but they will never be a part of that shit. So they have to run around on YouTube saying that, oh, all these literary things that people use to describe their feelings about the film and why they like it and dislike it, that's wrong, actually. Fuck you.
Also, this man is just wrong when it comes to going back in time and looking at the internet and stuff like that. Like, I went back even further. I went from January 1st, 1999 to December 31st, 2001. You know what I found?
Yeah.
I found thepitchck.com. I found explaining errors in Star Trek fandom.com. I found reviewsontheside.com. I found bearcave.com, which is somebody's personal goddamn website.
Bearcave.com. That's a glorious.
I found the remnants of GeoCities.
Hey,
I'm imagining Twy just like on this long trek, and she's like strolling through the flooded ruins of this once glorious civilization.
Yes.
Once upon a time, 1 million people lived here. Now it's a ghost town.
Yes, like my guy, like the majority of the internet used to be on GeoCities, and GeoCities was like a big place for fandom where we would talk about all sorts of shows and movies and everything that you could think of. There were shrines dedicated to this on GeoCities. GeoCities is mostly gone. We have archives of it, but it still exists. And there were criticisms of it. People complained.
Yeah, you got this right. He literally said plot holes were brought up in movie reviews, yet somehow he didn't catch the flaw in his logic. It's because he doesn't consider those reviews to be
legitimate.
The average person. No, other way around. He considers them to be
niche.
Above. They not niche. Yeah. He considers them to be of a higher degree. He's one of the people that probably sees like the Roger Eberts and the other critics as elevated for some reason above the general population when it comes to making criticisms. Like they are the quote unquote formal critics, if that makes any sense. They are a different caste above us plebeians who are only just laymen that are bitching on the internet and don't know what we're talking about. Like,
yeah, meanwhile, he's dressed and acts exactly like those freaking plebeians. I'm sorry. I don't like this fucking Temu nostalgia critic shit you got going on. Change that shit up, motherfucker. And also, you cannot be the guy who is so protective and so defensive about being one of these auteur critics, you know, the creme de la creme of criticism, while you're also the motherfucker who's all like, oh, let's think about the feels guys in movies so that nobody can make fun of you for liking The Last fucking Jedi.
I joked you're the fucking no name of goddamn critics, but dear God, that's an insult to No Name.
Yeah.
Because No Name has a fucking charisma to it.
The logic is that they're more informed on cinema. Yeah, they might be overall. It's possible that like Patrick Willems might know like a bunch of different facts about cinema and everything. Doesn't change our arguments though.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he's not
being able to sit through the credits and then like write down the names of who you see in the credits doesn't make you a smarter person than us.
Pretty much, because if anything, that makes you dumber, because you have all of this knowledge and supposed experience, and yet you're not using it for shit. Congratulations, you played yourself quintuple. How many times has he done that? Like 5 at this point?
I don't know. Just let me know if he's positive or negative polarity right now. Hey, Celtic, do you know what the Genshin Impact VA drama? Or what do you think of it? I don't know anything about it. I didn't know there was. I don't pay attention to Genshin. But is there VA drama? I'm all ears. I'm good for listening to drama.
Something about SAG-AFTRA, I think.
Oh, is it SAG-AFTRA?
I've heard it.
Did they have to fire
I've heard some.
everyone?
I believe like Paimon, her voice actor, is getting replaced, and a bunch of other stuff. I don't know the full details. This is like stuff that I heard like second and third hand. So take what I say with a grain of salt.
Okay, I think I know about this. So what happened is that the company that does Genshin is thinking about Hoyoverse, yes. That they are planning on using AI voices of the actors that play the characters. The actors decide to go on strike and have a union and everything. And I believe Paimon's voice actor is sticking around, mainly because like there's a whole rumor about whether or not he knows that the strike is happening, or that he knew that Hoyoverse was doing this stuff before coming in. Like, he's the new voice of this character Paimon.
Interesting. If it's all
and
about
so
AI
everybody's
voices.
basically everybody's sort of like accusing him of being a scab or whatever. I forget the name for it.
All right, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. And I think they bring this up because we talked about Lil Karibo earlier, and Lil Karibo was an absolute fucking schizo during all of this.
I mean, the only thing that I really know about Hoyo is that there's one interaction in Zenless Zone Zero where one character is just like describing the plot to a movie, and then another character was like, "Wait, wasn't that a recent movie?" And the other girl says, "Yes." And at the end of the documentary, there were lots of victims. The character's response: "That's called a cast list."
Oh, we got more Teddy Bear Paladin. Bedroom Party, a doll and her lady, part 8. Action girl figure. So do you like me? Elegant doll. I am stuck with you. But of all the infuriating, loudmouth, brazen pieces of plastic your toy line produced, none other would I call friend. Oh, that's sweet.
Aww.
Izanagi, from what I've seen, Mugen's vids, this whole thing is a mess involving legit complaints, but also a lot of union power plays. Okay. Yeah, sounds about right.
Oh, right. I think Neil has the summary right. There was a collective work refusal for SAG. Jacob Takanashi was a VA who wasn't a part of the guild, and he got the role. A bunch of VAs attacked him as a scab. Yeah, that's what happened. And Lil Karibo, because there was a guy that was saying that, went to bat for Jacob. For reference, he lives in Japan. And he was saying that, hey, this guy got harassed, right? As a result of defending me, don't harass this guy. And Lil Karibo commented, and I get what he was trying to say. He wasn't trying to say that he is okay with people harassing Jacob, who took the role despite all this happening. But he basically insinuated that it's on them for not sharing this private information about the fact that he is working with this company, whether or not he knew about this whole thing happening, which is insane to me to even say.
Yeah,
even
that's kind of
if
gross.
I were to say that. Yeah, that's fucking gross. I'm pretty sure I made a rant about this on Twitter, responding to him directly, because I was like, bro, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm always a big proponent of, if you are willing to agree to the terms of your contract, you are willing to agree to the terms of your contract. That is wholly on you. There are ways to get protection and the like, but I am always like, if someone's like, you know what, if they're going to do scummy things, I don't care. I'm going to sign up for it. I need the money.
And if I'm fine with that. And either way, though, you shouldn't have to share that information publicly to avoid getting harassed, dog.
Yep.
Sorry, not fucking sorry. That's why I unsubscribed from his channel and unfollowed him and everything, because I was like, that is fucking feckless of you. Oh my god.
Anyway, Patrick Willems.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Yeah, speaking of feckless, holy shit.
But then in 2008, Cracked published the article 8 Classic Movies That Got Away with Gaping Plot Holes. There were more forum posts. Then in 2009, the TV Tropes page for Plot Hole was created.
Okay, I'm sorry. Is this man literally throwing the origin of this to Cracked.com?
Hey, he is. He is throwing this on Cracked.com. I forgot he did this. As someone who is pervasively reading Cracked, I'm sorry, no. No, they were not responsible for this. I knew the term plot hole pretty fucking early on. All right?
Yeah, same here.
Oh my god.
That's insane, dude.
Where is your source centered? My source is cracked.com.
Oh my god.
In 2010, it really began. Articles on Wired, The Escapist, Den of Geek, and Kotaku. Plot holes had officially crossed over into mainstream nerd culture. Their rise coincided with the arrival of listicle articles, and plot holes were the perfect clickbait. Nitpicks about popular things that could reveal things readers may have missed. But 2012 was where the change really happened.
Oh, no.
This was when plot holes started taking over YouTube. Pop culture commentary from a
personal
nerdy fan
9/11.
perspective began exploding in popularity. And immediately, the types of videos that proved most popular
about this
were
shit.
humorous analyses of popular movies focusing on surface-level nitpicks. And over the next several years, these types of videos grew in number and popularity. For many people, especially millennials and whatever the generation after millennials is called, most film criticism they consume is on YouTube. And not all, but a lot of this is surface-level critique, focusing on nitpicks, and chief among those nitpicks, plot holes. Plot holes don't really mean anything, but they're good clickbait.
Okay. Sorry I let that go on so long, but I was kind of in shock.
Yeah. He just keeps flashbanging us with the freaking...
Yeah, that was really fucking annoying.
All of these fucking people getting backbroken by CinemaSins.
CinemaSins just broke the brains of so many people, I swear.
And thinking that all of these critics are copying CinemaSins specifically. That's fucking stupid. No one does that.
Yeah, I only copy CinemaSins. Which is all about eating, cinnamon rolls. It's great.
True.
Let's not forget, they don't mean anything except when they do, except that no one knows what they're defined as, but they do know what it's defined as, and here's the definition that I use, but it's only sometimes relevant when I say it is, but when it's not, it's... I'm sorry, Patrick, what is your formal basis here? I'm turning my entire brain into knots. I am growing extra wrinkles so I can tie them into knots in my brain.
Yes. Oh, also,
why does bro look like
keep
the
in mind,
Una bomber?
Oh my god, yeah. But Pete says this perfectly. Keep in mind his definition of a plot hole is a contradiction. To him, a contradiction doesn't matter. But plot contrivances do. How the fuck does that work?
Contrivances are softer, I would say, in a critical space than a contradiction.
100%. Because how many times have we been over the fact that a coincidence and a contrivance is like the inciting incident?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like,
hey, guys.
Yes.
The New York Times archive, Suicide Kings, Goodfellas, Junior Grade. If you analyze the plot, which is riddled with holes, the pieces of the story don't fit.
Oh, do tell. When was this
made?
When was this made?
April 17th, 1998.
Oh!
There we fucking go. And it's in a mainstream newspaper, bro. That's 1 year older than me.
Yeah. Also, StompTokyo.com, House on Haunted Hill, 1958. Made October 24th, 1998. I fully expect the plot holes of the original to be plugged, and the new plot to be likely contribute to holes of its own.
So this guy fucking lied.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You know what? I think idiocy is really the more likely thing here.
Occam's razor and all that.
The thing is, I think there's malicious stupidity. Where he only did surface level research, and his maliciousness was that he didn't dig any deeper than he wanted to.
This is page 1 and 2, man.
Admittedly, this is what? When did he upload this?
Oh no.
This was like
it was 2019, right?
Oh,
yeah, 6 years ago. So the results might be a little different.
Daigato, why'd you have to do him like that? I'm just gonna
send this quick
art.
Oh no.
Wait, hold on. Oh my god! Yeah, buddy! Yeah!
Oh wow.
Oh shit. Yeah, absolutely right.
Look at him, not thinking, perfectly calm, in his lane, superior.
Yeah.
Perfect specimen of a Patrick.
Excellent. And he's actually bald, so he went through with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And those videos get views, and they multiply. And people watch them and believe them and repeat those points in conversation. And when they watch movies, they think about these surface level nitpicks. They look for them. No one is really to blame for this. No. Okay, CinemaSins definitely deserves some of the blame. But it's not...
Okay, all right.
No. You first. You first.
I need to talk about the structure of this video because you're doing this whole like, no one knows where this came from bullshit where you're leading up to the reveal that it's CinemaSins. But then you actually address them directly with a wet fart of a statement. Oh, they deserve a little bit of the blame. And then you cut back to the horror movie, they're going to stab you sound fucking effect with CinemaSins' name shaking all over the screen. Like, are you going to make a point about them in length, or are you just going to keep throwing their name on screen like it means anything?
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt the rest of y'all, but I really need to fucking say this.
Please go.
To everybody who does this, who blames fucking videos for the conversations that people willingly choose to have about the shit that they like or dislike or whatever, and blame that for the conversation broadly, how it is currently. If you blame YouTube videos for people discussing things a certain way, you have the smallest dick, and I do not respect you.
You know it's bad.
I'm sorry. I'm so fucking sorry.
You know it's bad when the Nostalgia Critic did this joke better with TMZ.
110%. But like, dude, it's the same exact shit is what people keep saying about, oh my god, H-Bomber guy made everybody hate Ruby. No! People wouldn't watch the video unless they already believe that Ruby was in some way kind of flawed and want to say something about it and want to fucking talk about it. It's been 5 years, people. Get the fuck over it. We choose to watch these shows and movies the way that we do. If you think that we are wrong, actually engage with our fucking arguments. Change the conversation. Do something about it. And stop blaming freaking YouTube videos for your goddamn problems.
Kai, if you could read, am I allowed to read the Orange Man's super chat there? Do I have the pass to ask this question?
Okay, I'll ask it. Off topic, which brown girl is your favorite? Mine's Shantae.
I don't typically gravitate towards girls with a darker complexion. There are a few though that have caught my eye. I'm trying to think of them though off the top of my head.
I mean, I like Yoriichi, so there's that.
To be fair, Shantae is a really good option. Shantae,
she is
really freaking cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a few in mind, but I can't remember who they were. Oh, I'm not in the right headspace.
Storm is also a good one.
Storm, I find like she always has a lot of like harsh angles. I find like she's like a very like there's a lot of characters that like I'm not very into very muscled girls. I'm not into very just like sharply angled like art styles particularly. So I don't know. Let's see. Izanagi, look, I personally dislike CinemaSins but a lot, man. But Patrick really is being stupid with how much impact they had on discourse.
Yeah, they're a fucking joke. They're a joke now.
Yeah.
Especially by the point that this video came out, barely anyone freaking respected them. And it's not like most people took in CinemaSins.
Oh, Marina from Marina from Splatoon. Yeah, no, I'm down with that.
Yeah. I don't like. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say for just the topic for CinemaSins was like, wasn't there like high point like 2015, 2016?
Yeah.
Or it was like earlier. It was early YouTube. I feel.
Oh, Nessa from Pokemon 2. Yes, Nessa is great. Yes, she's very cute.
Or the whole Lily Orchard made everyone hate SU. Yeah, that's bullshit too. I don't believe that.
I don't care for girls that much unless if it's like a really cute design. But my favorite dark-skinned male character is Mystiline from the manga Knights. He's very cute.
Oh yeah, you told me about them. Yeah.
Yeah, I love him so much. He's such a good character.
Yeah, the Orange Man, you gotta take into mind. We have a female panelist here. You gotta play to both sides here.
I love Latina Sonic.
I was honestly expecting Twilight to hit us with a curveball from Love in Deep Space or something.
Oh, Kida from Atlantis, The Lost Empire. Yeah.
I hadn't thought about Catra. I guess that would probably qualify. I actually quite think Catra's quite cute in the She-Ra reboot. So,
I had a crush on Katara
haven't actually
as a kid.
played Love in Deep Space yet. I should download that though.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You like chocolate men, girl? No.
Okay.
All right.
Oh boy.
I feel like we've acquired an edgy boy in our chats. Oh no.
Yeah, for real. But like this whole mindset. Go ahead.
Sorry, before we go on, here's another website that I found from 1998 that doesn't talk about plot holes in films, but rather a certain book series that we read as children.
Oh
boy. HeraDeles.com. All of the plot holes that they found in the book series by K.A. Applegate, Animorphs.
Oh my
God. Oh boy.
Yep. And that's a household name nowadays, especially back then. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
thank you, Robert Glending, for 5 more gifted memberships. Everyone, please enjoy.
Oh,
that.
sweet.
Oh, dang.
Oh,
awesome. But yeah, this whole massive thing. Whenever anybody says that X video ruined the conversation surrounding X series, let me tell you this shit right now. Every single example of this I've ever seen anybody say this, it's all insecurity. It's all a fucking power play. These people don't want to, correct the record on a series that they love. It's about controlling the fucking conversation. They want to control you. They want to dictate what people talk about. They don't actually want things to be varied up.
Right.
Or corrected. They want their own YouTube Superman to come down from the heavens and tell everybody and brainwash them into thinking that whatever they like is good.
Speaking of Nessa, I'm willing to bet B is another good one. You know what? Pokemon just has a lot of good, really cute, dark-skinned girls. I actually really appreciate the variety they've been giving us. Because, like, Nimona is great. I love her. Oh my god, Nimona is amazing. She's a fucking stalker. It's great.
Honestly, I hate her. She's so annoying. Leave me alone.
I haven't played a Pokemon game since Emerald, so...
Based.
Yeah,
Emerald is great. Emerald and the Heart Gold, Soul Sapphire. It was like peak Pokemon.
I got out during the Diamond era, and then I got back in briefly for X and Y, and then I'm like, you know what? I think I'm good.
Yeah, like I have my friend bought me Scarlet so that I could play with her. But she doesn't even like really playing the game. She just likes taking photos of her Pokemon.
Aw.
And then she likes like running around and dicking around with her friends on there. Like that's all that it is to her, because the game isn't good. It's not all that engaging. So like you kind of begrudgingly have to go through the main point of the game in order to get to all of the fun things that you want to do, which is just dicking around, which I think is kind of a failure of where the direction that Pokemon is going in right now.
One, Helix Wither, she is a stalker. I have no balls about that. That she was like caught literally just, like hiding to try and not get caught by you before popping out to say, hey, coincidence of meeting you here. That is like pure stalker behavior. Let's not hide that. Secondly, favorite Pokemon character? That's really hard. Because, like, I like the fandom interpretations of a lot of these characters. It's not really fair to, like, say they're my... Because, like, I love the fandom interpretation of Gloria, the sassy Scottish girl. But that's not really who she is in the game. because the player doesn't really have a personality. I kind of have.
She like that in the manga, though.
I don't know. I don't know about manga. I haven't read the mangas.
I only remember the bit where they discovered that she's supposed to be Scottish, and they had a whole thing of just like, "What the fuck are you fucking? Look at that!" Oh no, she's Scottish.
Bedroom party, a doll and her lady, part 9. Elegant doll, but big cub had to leave one day. She saw fit to. I almost said chub. I'm sorry. She saw fit to leave a parting gift for our cub, Teddy Bear Paladin, and that was how my lady joined us. Action girl figure, and how you discovered your puppy crush. Aww.
Aww.
All right, let's try and get through this silly video.
Yeah.
Not just them. This is way bigger. This is about cultural shifts coinciding with evolving technology. And look, as long as movies are popular and people on the internet are making videos for clicks, it's going to keep happening. So look, watch whatever YouTube videos you want, think whatever you want about movies, just please.
How about you?
Can I watch
Legos.
YouTube videos where they have better sound balancing? Holy shit, dude, my ears.
Yeah, that hurt.
Can I watch better YouTube videos that have a guy that doesn't have a receding hairline? I'm still stuck on that. As long as you keep listen, as long as you don't go bald, I'm gonna keep pointing that out to you, bro. I'm sorry.
And then let's. What's the last 2 minutes of this?
Was the punching too aggressive?
Probably a plug for his
maybe a touch, you know, maybe a tad.
Hell yeah.
And no, that's
seems like a Patreon.
Yeah, Sora Heart says there is a One Piece character called Arbor whose dark skin, he's really attractive. Good to know.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Yeah, there is.
Look that up.
But yeah,
I don't know
this
anything
video
about
was
One
absolute
Piece.
trash.
Oh, there's more after it.
Oh, there's post credits.
Let's grab the post-credit scene. We must get the Marvel Cinematic Universe full experience.
Oh, he is attractive.
Arbor?
Nice, really cool character design. Yeah.
Oh my god! How short was your patron list?
Damn, son.
There we go.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. This is a video I've wanted to make for a long time because clearly I have a lot of feelings about the subject, and
Yeah, you certainly have a lot of feelings. None of them are very well. You want to talk about characters not acting logically.
Yeah, for real, dude.
Also, you had so many feelings about it, but you only managed to do an 11-minute video.
Yeah,
functionally.
I can tell that you have a lot of feelings.
Yep.
Interesting.
Sennheiser for making this possible. They sent me over their G4 wireless microphone system to try out for a video, and I used it for the entire thing.
I don't care.
Okay, well, here's some advice. You should put your ad somewhere in the middle of the video so people are more likely to watch it instead of immediately click away. I'm curious to see how badly he sells this fucking microphone, though.
Yeah, for real. This is especially with how bad this video is.
I was gonna say, I don't know if this is any good video because, like, again, the sound mixing was not the best after the whole with the CinemaSins and the burr.
And like, I don't have the
right
best
now.
sound mixing on my videos, but I'm also like an amateur YouTuber. I made technically 3 videos on my channel that weren't AMVs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say I'm the best at. I'm learning more about it, but I hate audio work. I would much rather lean on other people for that. Alex Septikai. Kaiser, that kind of reminds me when a good friend of mine tried to control the many convos. He tried to assert that Scott Pilgrim was a Gary Stu once.
Okay, I do not believe that. I mean, granted, my only exposure is the movie, but
my only exposure is that
not.
one.
Yeah, I know that Gary he's supposed to be a fucking asshole.
Yes.
All I know about Scott Pilgrim is that one scene where he dives out of a window and it's like he just left.
That's the best joke.
And then he leans back in to get his coat.
Yep.
Right now, I have the lav mic attached to me right now, which is connected to the transmitter, which broadcasts to the receiver, connected to the audio recorder.
Cool.
And the thing has been extremely easy to use. I've wanted to get a wireless mic set for a while now, and this is everything I ever wanted in one. It's really easy to use, and the sound is great. And since this video involved a bunch of walking and talking, a lot of moving around, this really helped us shoot faster and freed us up to just move around more. I'm not being paid to say this. Sennheiser just sent me the product to try out, and I genuinely love it. I'll be using this a lot from here on out. If you are a filmmaker who is in need of a wireless microphone setup, I would recommend this thing. This is like the best I've encountered. So Sennheiser, thank you for hooking me up. And the second thing I want to say is that this is our first video ever with a totally original score. It's all composed and recorded by my friend Brian Hose, who's the composer for the hit off-Broadway play Puffs, which is running.
Oh wait, so was he the one responsible for the burn, 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 burn?
Like the bad slasher movie type music when he's being super dramatic, and you've got to understand it.
What the fuck, dude?
Did we even pay attention to the score at all?
I mean, I'm paying
like
right
when
now.
they tried to jump scare us.
Right now, it's nice. I actually kind of like the poppy feel to it. It's all right.
Yeah.
Yo, it at least wasn't noticeable, which isn't a bad thing about score. If it's not noticeable, it's not doing anything inherently wrong. More Balinor. Ari the Fourth. During his petition, this dorky mage was utterly respectful to my mother, to our shared bewilderment. With earnest respect, he pleaded for my mother to be kind to his coven.
All right.
Right now, and Brian did an incredible job. Like, I love this music in very little time because he is ridiculously talented, and we will absolutely be working together on future projects. His info is in the description, so go check out his music.
Good. I'll subscribe to him and not you.
Him now before he gets crazy expensive. And Brian, again, thank you. Okay, and all the usual stuff. Merch is available. Listen to our podcast, We Hard Heart.
Okay, definitely.
Robin Hood and King Arthur, Hollywood's problem with... Oh boy, that's something I'll have to watch in my own time.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like that might be another piece of coverage.
Maybe.
Well,
this video sucked.
This video is awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's been clowned on very reasonably for this, and
for good reason. Now we had our turn. You know?
I still feel a little bad for him. I'll admit that, but wow.
I don't. I really don't. I'm
Considering-
sorry. There's a
considering how
point
he's
where somebody
reacted-
is so dumb he doesn't deserve any sympathy from me. I'm sorry.
I would have sympathy if this were a one-off, but no, he has made subsequently bad coverages. I mean,
I didn't say a lot of sympathy.
Look, I too have sympathy for someone with his hairline. All right, he was just born that way.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He can't have my glorious mane, which was especially soft today. I don't know why. It just was very nice.
Ooh,
lovely.
But yes, that was our first experience with Patrick Willems. I think it's safe to say, ouch.
That's unique.
We survived Patrick Willems.
Yeah, hashtag we survived Patrick Willems.
The Patrick Willems challenge.
We were marked safe during the Patrick Willems video.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bruh.
This video is terrible.
Well, at least we got some good conversations about plot holes in general and some nice stuff. And I'm going to be thinking about the squeaky hammer building the house in a quiet place.
I'm always gonna think about the cooler Patrick. Honestly, I'm kind of kicking myself for not suggesting something like this be the thumbnail.
If we don't make "we're devolving" as a sort of meme in the Tundra Discord, I think we clearly don't see great memes.
Shad is devolving every Friday, bro. On
that is
fanfiction
true.
night, as we read his book, Shadow of the Conqueror.
Yeah.
If you guys want to pal around with us as we read through it, please donate $1 or more to Raymond's Patreon, Raymond or Twilight's Patreons, to get access to the Tundra Discord server.
Yeah.
Or you'll find us there.
Yep. Periodic Pete was fun to tune in. Kaiser, tell him about our DMC stream, please. I know nothing. Hit me up if you want to chat Warhammer animation. Pariah Nexus Astartes. Good night, guys. Night, Pete.
I'm literally doing
good night,
that right
Pete.
now.
Appreciate it. But
I'm doing that right now, Pete. Good night.
But yeah, definitely check out the stream that I did with Pete, Serial Naval Gazer CBF, who, came on to the stream last week, and our friend Bio Gundam on his channel. No, it wasn't on his channel, it was on Pete's channel. We streamed talking about the Adi Shankar DMC Netflix anime, and we raked that thing over the fucking coals. We had a great time talking about it because half of us was familiar with Devil May Cry, the other half wasn't, and we just bounced off of each other from there, and it was a really fun time. So definitely check it out. I'll put.
What was your favorite part? When they played Fortunate Son as they were nuking hell, or when Lady soloed 4 bosses at the same time?
My favorite part was when Lady started talking. That was
clearly.
That was great, man.
Yeah, I know, right? Amazing.
For those that know EFAP, this is my favorite part. Balinor Uprising, Gathering Tinder's Party, the last one for the night. Ari the Fourth, but Mother was no kind matriarch. She ordered him to the gallows, which I could not allow. So I took his hand and made a sprint for the gate. His blood was not the price of my amusement.
Dun dun dun.
Got a princess on the run with the mage boy now.
Yeah, I like it.
That's why I think he's stealing points from your story.
Yeah. I approve, honestly. I do approve.
Cute princess runs away with mage boy. Sounds good.
But yes, anyone else got anything they need to advertise? Kaiser gave a spiel. I don't know. I know nothing. You have anything you want to say?
Unfortunately, work has actually gotten worse and worse and worse for me, so I'm still in editing hell. I'm so sorry it's taking so long.
Understandable.
The only thing that I have up is that modified English alphabet on my Patreon. I still have that up. And I'm gonna start working on some videos now, and maybe I'll try to set up some live streams within the next week or so now that my computer is completely fixed. So there's that.
Good. Meanwhile here, don't forget Bad Fanfiction Night every Friday night at 10 p.m. And also this week, Fixing Ruby Volume 7 Episode 3 will be airing at noon on Friday. So
hell yeah,
let's go.
Be ready for that.
Yeah.
So far we're still on schedule, but I've been slowing down in my editing. I'm still editing episode 4 as we speak, whereas I had 3 pretty much done last week. So we'll see if I manage to get 5 out in time. I think 4 will be on schedule, but 5 might be delayed. We'll see. We'll see. Well,
if you don't do it in time, we riot.
Oh shit.
No,
you gotta wait till later episodes for that to happen.
Yeah.
Oh wait, did I just say something?
We're usually kind to artists if they have to delay an episode or 2 because the animation needs to get done.
Production delays, good things doesn't. Yeah, quite frankly, I've had a rough go of it the last few weeks when it comes down to like medication, when it comes down to motivation and things. Just it's been a bit of a mess. I'm behind. It feels like I struggle with a lot of things. I'm just very transparent about that these days. But I'm going to try my best to get things out in time. But I may need a break every week or every few weeks or so. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all had a fun time. I know I did, even though this was a miserable fucking video. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll catch you all on the flip side.